DJ's in the building. What's up, DJ? Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. Nick is in the building. Let me see. Faith is in the building. What's up, y'all? Welcome in. Appreciate y'all tapping in. How y'all feeling today? Welcome in. Let me get a couple things moved over here. Gotta move these mics. I actually don't know why they're up here. Welcome in, y'all. I appreciate y'all tapping into the stream. Welcome to Track Talk. If y'all are coming in for the first time, as I'm getting something set up here, let me know where you're joining from. If you make music, Zane's in the building. Chris, what's up? If y'all make music, let me know where you are coming in from, and let me know what kind of music you make. I'm gonna get a couple things organized here as I'm getting moving. RJ in the building. Brand, welcome in. No, Zane. Not for consultations. New York from Texas. Metal Chick Singer. Let's go. Shout out to Texas. What part of Texas? Let me see. Let me see some things here. Sorry, I'm updating, refreshing a couple things. The line is updated. Let's get that rolling. Let's see. Yeah, and I'll explain the whole live stream and everything as far as structure goes. Dom in the building. What's up, Dom? I make music about my current life right now. Let's go, RJ. I love that. Christian, welcome in, or Christian. Am I saying that correctly? Thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you hopping in. If y'all are on TikTok, make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send your heart me for the day. It does really help out the live stream. 7-year relationship, gone for my faults and drinking and so much little shit, but I'm good. I'm glad to hear that you're bouncing back. And if anything too, RJ, just using art as an outlet for you to like process some of those emotions and self-reflect and stuff like that, which I think is really cool, man. Big ups for that. I just got a new MacBook Pro and switched to Logic. Let's go, RJ. I love that. Gims, welcome in as well. Appreciate y'all being here. Welcome into the stream. Let me know where y'all are joining from. North Texas. Let's go. My wife and I lived in North Texas for a couple years, about 2.5 years. I had a small studio up there, which was fun. Gims, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate that a lot. Welcome in. Y'all, thanks for joining. Let me know where y'all are joining from. Let me know if you make music, the kind of music that you make, so on and so on. I see there is. No, there's not. Gims, thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the oldies. Thank you for the lives. I appreciate that so much. Zane, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through it and follow the details there. Impulse, welcome in. I appreciate you. We were in Dallas, like Dallas Central, like uptown Dallas area, kind of right there for most of our time that we were there. One woman metal band located in Nashville. Let's go. How long have you been doing that? And that's amazing. Producer from the Netherlands. Amazing. Oh yeah, I know exactly where that is. Let's see. Oh, beautiful. Gims, that's amazing. Thank you so much for tapping in. I really appreciate y'all being here. Welcome into the stream, y'all. Y'all keep tapping the screen. We're gonna chat for just a little bit before we get into the music, and then we'll dive into everything. But if y'all wanna look at the kind of rules and steps for submitting, go to my profile, click on the link. You'll see details there. But I will explain the whole live stream in a second, so hang on a little bit for that as well. I'm just getting something set up. We'll chat for a couple moments, and then we'll kind of dig into the details of the live, the way that we format it here, kind of the ins and outs of it, because it's a little bit different. These are long, they're detailed, so I want to get into the kind of the nuances of that in just a little bit as I'm kind of refreshing some things. The line is currently up on the other platforms that we're live on. We are live on 3 different platforms right now. Obviously, most of y'all are seeing me here for the first time over on TikTok, and then we are over on Twitch and YouTube as well. So I appreciate y'all joining over here. And let me get this set up. Let's see what's happening here. My first single out for 2 weeks has almost 10,000 streams. Any tips to boost that? Is 10,000 good? I mean, 10,000 being good kind of depends on the context. I mean, if it's your first single and you're getting 10,000 streams organically, I would say that's pretty impressive. It kind of, I think that depends a lot on your socials. It depends on how you're funneling there and how you're translating to streams there and stuff like that. I think 10,000 streams is great for most people. In fact, there's a stat. I'm going to butcher it. I don't know what the I'm going to mess this up. So don't believe what I'm saying here. Some version of this, but something like 80% of all music, and this is tens of millions of tracks of music and records. I think it's something like 80-something% never gets like over 100 streams. And there's like a large percentage, like a big percentage of music uploaded to DSPs that never gets a single stream. So I think it just kind of depends on context. And, if you start putting out some music and you typically get 50,000, 80,000, 120,000 streams, you put out a record that has 9, you're like, is that still good? Depends on some context, depends on the purpose of the record. It depends on how viable it is for that record to, garner more attention and more exposure, kind of the way that you structure it. But I would say if you are building out a first record, it's your first time putting out a single and you're getting 10,000 streams, I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool. Nick says, welcome in. Let me see. I'm like a hardcore raw style. Let's go. Justin saying, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I get a question. If a person writes the song but has AI song, is that okay? Okay, in what sense? As far as Ron, no, I'm not popular. I don't consider myself popular. My Nova's in the building. What's up, Nova and Jason? Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. Is it okay in what sense? Like, are you? Is it like a moral or ethical question, or are you just talking about like, can you send it in? Is that your question? People send in AI. It happens. This is a very specific format for a show. Nicole, thank you. Maybe to some people, maybe to some people, I am. I don't consider myself that. I mean, I don't have any crazy amount of followers or anything like that. I like what I do. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy my job. Evan, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. But yeah, you can send it in mixes, 100%. Yeah, you can. People do the way that I typically address people if they are generating production structure with AI and stuff like that is let me know how we can help you. These are very detailed streams. Like these are very long form, detailed consultations and breakdowns that we do for artists and producers and musicians and stuff like that. So if you're using AI, you can send it in technically. But when it comes to that, I just want to know how I can be of value, how I can be helpful when there's a lot of limitations to the things that you have control over. So usually, most of the time when people do send in AI, because it does happen, we usually talk about songwriting, structure, phrasing, cadence, melodic structure, and trying to optimize that. Roby, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. That is, most of the time, that's what people focus on. Okay, give me 2 seconds here, y'all. I gotta update some things. Let me get some things rolling here. Guide, I got you. Guide, hop in the chat. Let me know where you're at. I got you. Let me get this up here. Let's see. Boom. There's Guide. Guide, I got you. Thank you so much for your submission. I appreciate that. You are up on the board, ready to go. Oh, is that you? Was that you? Oh no, that's RJ actually, I believe. Give me a moment. Give me one moment. Get this. I'm seeing a bunch of different names. Yeah, that's you. That's RJ. Okay. RJ, boom, got you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I want to make sure I get the right name on there because sometimes I'll see it'll say it's for something and it'll be for different things that I'm seeing all at the same time. That's what I said. Okay, that's what I saw. I was like, I don't know if maybe that was a song name or something. So I get confused because sometimes what happens is I'll see like 4 different names. What's up, Bill? Good to see you. I'll see like 4 different names. Thank you for the follows as well, y'all. I appreciate it. Where I'll see like your profile name here, your username here, and then I'll see a different name on the email, and then it's a different actual name in the payment, and then the actual artist name on Spotify something different. I'm like, hold on, I gotta figure out which one I'm listing here. So okay, I got you up there as RJ. Hopefully that works. Okay, let's get into it. For those of you who have never been before, I'm going to dive into my spiel here, my pre-stream spiel, and we're gonna dive into the music. For those of you who have never been here before, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate y'all being here so much and taking any amount of time to hang out with us today and listen to some music, maybe submit some music, but even just engage with the community and network and talk with each other and engage with creativity and art. To me, it's a really powerful thing. So I appreciate y'all being here. I think y'all are amazing for even just stopping by for a little bit. For those of you who haven't been here before, what we do here at Track Talk are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen consultations on the structure of your music. I'll say it again, 20 to 30 minute multiple listen consultations on your music. We are going to dive into the structure of your mix and master, production elements, sound design, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting, stuff like that. This is not a review. There is no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls, nothing like that. That is not what this live is for at all. They are long form, detailed breakdowns of the structure of your music. We're gonna really go deep into the structure of what you're doing creatively and practically. I am not here to roast you. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm also not here to hype you up. I'm not here to get you exposure. If that happens, if the algorithm starts doing something fun and you get fans of your music, I'm so happy about that, but it's not my priority. It's not the way that I've structured the stream to optimize for that. The way that we structure this is like slow, long, detailed, nuanced, and hopefully, ideally, incredibly valuable for the people that are here. Help me rate my music. We'll send your email. King, literally just said I don't rate. There are no ratings. There is no trash or pass. There are no polls. I'm not doing anything to optimize for engagement in that way. It is strictly about the music, about the structure of the music. So if that's something that'll be interesting to you, I'll let y'all know where to go here in just a moment. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So that is kind of the structure of the live stream. That is the perspective of the live stream and the way that we have built this out over the last almost 3.5 years of doing these consultations right here on TikTok, and we now over on Twitch and YouTube as well. If you would like to submit your music for a consultation, like what we just talked about, if you would like to submit for a consultation, go to my profile, click on the link, and read through and follow the details there. You'll see steps. You'll see all of this information there. Please do not skip through it. Read through and follow those details. I will get notified, and we'll get you up on the board just like RJ did. He already did that today, and we have you up on the board ready to go. If you are on the Red app, which we're also live on, you can go to the description for the live stream to see the same link. If you are on the Purple app that we are also live on, you can type !submit right there in the chat, and you will see the link pop up for you. If y'all would like to see the line, order, minimums, all of that stuff throughout the course of the live, I recommend that you do before submitting, and as you're kind of getting into the flow of things here, to kind of see how many tracks we have left, what the minimums are at that time, where you are in the list, things like that, or how long the list is. All of that is on the other platforms that we're live on. So head on over there, or just pull it up on another tab so you can see the line, the order, and minimums over there. Once again, if you're all over here on TikTok and you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there, and we'll get you up in line, ready to go. Nova, just got your email. Let me answer just a few questions before we get rolling with the first song here. But in the next couple minutes, we'll go ahead and dive into the first couple songs that we have coming in. Let me just get this updated. So RJ, I've got you on the board. You're ready to go. And then I think, Logan, I'm just getting yours in here in just a moment. Let me get some things refreshed, and I'll, what's up, Retrack? Good to see you. Meowing, thank you so much for the rose. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you can send it in, absolutely, I forgot to mention this too. Absolutely any style, any genre, any level of preparedness, any level of quality. We've had people in the same live, we had people send in voice memos of them humming in Starbucks to build a melody, and we've had Grammy-winning producers and musicians. It's going to be all the way across the board in a lot of different styles and genres. You can send me any link that I have access to, so as long as I have access to it, I will make sure that we can listen to it. And Nova, I got you. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Boom, boom, boom. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's go. All right, RJ Nova, you're on the board, ready to go. We're gonna get moving. I saw a bunch of y'all followed. Thank y'all so much for the follows. I really appreciate that. Sorry, I missed a couple people in here. Let me just a few quick questions. No, TikTok is so annoying because every time I try to scroll, it keeps kicking me down to the chat. They need to get on that. That's an absolute nightmare. Yeah, Nixus, send whatever you want. Whatever you feel like is a good representation of your work, that's up to you. Send whatever you want. People send in, I would say that most people send in unreleased stuff, unfinished stuff, works in progresses, because a lot of people over the course of the years that we've been doing this have used this live as kind of a final step before like releasing. So like a final stop before, going to distribution or working with their engineer, or even going to track in studio to make sure that their phrasing is good, making sure that their vocal production and the way that they've comped is accurate and it's consistent and they can work well in the studio. But of course, people also do all the time. They do send in release stuff as well. So usually with when people send in release songs and they're already finished, thank you for the follows, appreciate it. When people send in release stuff that's already done, that does give me a good idea of what finished looks like to you. Like what does a finished song sound like to the artist that's sending in? And then we can kind of adjust from there and say, hey, for the next record, try some of these things in order to maybe increase some of the professional polish that you have on your record. But I would say most people send in unreleased so you can target and tweak some things before getting it out to platforms and stuff like that. Okay, give me just a moment. Let me get some things updated here. We got Bill in the building. Bill, it has been a minute. Bill, I hope you're doing fantastic. I hope life is treating you all right. We got Bill Kurt in the building. It's been a while. Don't send it to the, is it Edu? Don't send it to the DM. I won't get it. If y'all want to submit your music, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the steps there. Everybody goes through the same process, funnels through the same place, and it keeps everything organized. It keeps everything in line, right? I can get all my emails in the same place. All the credit goes to the same place. I'm on it, and then you're good to go. Yeah, no worries, no worries. No need to be sorry. Just want to make sure everyone goes to the right spot so I can keep everything organized on my end. And I'm not the most efficient person sometimes, so I try to keep it as efficient as possible when it comes to the way that I receive things. All right, let's get into some music here. We got actually, I'm just waiting on Bill Kurd to send in their email, and as soon as that comes in, we'll kickstart the music and get some things flowing here. But y'all just keep in mind, you don't submit in the chat. Everybody will submit through my profile, clicking on the link and then reading through the details there. You'll see the email, you'll see credit, you'll see where to do everything there. Just read through it. If you have more questions, there's an FAQ. If you have more questions, there's a TOS. So you can read to your heart's content. And of course, sometimes we got mods in here that can help out a little bit as well. Retrack, thank you for the heart me. I don't know if I already thanked you for that, but thank you so much. I appreciate you a lot, man. Ryan Elias is in the building. Welcome in. All right. As soon as I get this email, I guess I'm challenged. I don't think so. Hold on. Unless it went to spam. Let me check spam. Let me check spam. It's at the top. So when you go to the profile on the link and you see the top, like where the first step is right there, of like kind of describing some things, you'll just see an email track talk submission right there. Can't say it too much on TikTok because they get shy. They get shy about saying anything in here. So, but yeah, it's right there in the first step. Right there in the first step, you'll see the email right there. Ryan, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Can you play it on piano? Do you have that perfect pitch? I have relative pitch, not perfect pitch, relative pitch. So as soon as I hear a song, I can play it pretty quickly. I mean, depending on the complexity of it. If it's like a classical piece, it's gonna take me some time. But most simple structures, within a couple seconds of hearing the song, I can play it pretty quickly. But it's like, people like perfect pitch is like, the gimmicks, that like Charlie Puth or like JP Collier will do, where it's like they ding a glass, or that's a C sharp, but it's 20 cents above. And I'm like, I can't do that. I don't see a ton of benefit in it. But relative pitch is nice, where if I'm like trying to learn, like I do a lot of session work. So if I'm doing like session work for synths or guitar or whatever it may be, I can pick up on key and riffs and melodies and stuff like that pretty quickly, which is, it's fun, and it's a useful tool to have as far as just like ear training goes and stuff like that. Shane's in the, but what's up, Shane? Welcome in. Libby, why'd you say hello? Is it blocking you again? Jeremiah's in the building. What's up, Jeremiah? Thanks for tapping in. I really appreciate you being here. Kobe is in the building. What's up, Kobe? Welcome into the stream. Shane, good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. Hope life is treating all right. Revis, welcome in. Edu, or not Edu, it's like Edu, like an education platform. Edu, I'm assuming, please correct me if I'm wrong. Go to my profile, click on the link, and the email's right there. You'll see steps. You'll see steps to submit. If you read through those steps, you'll come across the email right there. Ryan, go to my profile, click on the link, read through all of the details right there. We've spent a lot of time listing out lots of details, the format of the stream, the details. There's an FAQ there. If I keep answering those kinds of questions over and over and over and over again, then I'll never get to anything else. So just make sure y'all read through the details. Make sure that you read through the details. Let me double check a few things before I get rolling. Once Bill sends in their email, we're going to kickstart the music. Nova, I have your email in, ready to go. And Ryan, let me see. RJ, I got your email and you're ready to go as well. So y'all are there. Let me just see if I'm updated on the other platforms as well really quick. And then we'll dive into the music here in just a few minutes, y'all. To go to his page. Yeah, so I'm seeing that, Libby. Go to his page, click the bio, then read through all the steps. That's there. I've never been filtered so much. I see that. And yeah, for whatever reason, it is filtering. It is filtering some things. Just realized, any reason for the mic being upside down? Yes, because this is a tube microphone. It's a tube microphone, which means it's going to be putting off some heat because there is an actual tube in the framing here. So because of that, it actually increases the heat. If the mic is right side up, depending on the microphone and how much heat it actually puts off, depending on the circuitry and stuff like that, that can actually heat up the capsule of the microphone. That can damage the microphone sooner. It can cause a lot of noise issues and other, diaphragmatic issues with the capsule of the microphone. It can heat up the circuitry sooner than you wanted to, and that can actually change the tonal qualities of the microphone. So if you have a tube microphone, it can be helpful to flip it upside down so the capsule of the microphone is lower, the diaphragm of the microphone is lower, and the heat rises. So the heat is not going to affect the actual capsule of the microphone nearly as much. If you have a FET microphone or a solid state microphone, this is unnecessary unless you, which I have other ones. Like I have another Neumann that's a solid state microphone that there's no reason to do that. The only reason would be to like get the mic out of the way in a certain way. Like maybe it depends on the stand that you have, or maybe you want to angle it down in a very specific way and this just works better. But I would say that most people like kind of just do it because maybe they saw it in a big studio. Like they saw someone with like a 251 doing it and like, oh, I should do that with my microphone. It kind of looks cool. It makes it seem more professional, but it's like there's literally no point unless you have a tube microphone that's, formatted in this way. But yeah, that's the simple clean answer is just heat. It's just like heat dispersion. Okay. Let me see. I think that one me and Retrack just do is it, but yeah, I think that's working because I'm seeing that pinned and I'm seeing that come through clear. Joseph, welcome in. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing fantastic. And then Bill, no, nothing in spam. We'll just give it another moment. We'll give it another moment and then we'll oh, don't do that. There's no wrong notes. It's jazz. Sheffer's in the building. Sheffer, I got you. I'm going to get you up on the board. Oh, yeah. Sounds Retrucker deserves credit because I got to go. I got you. Thank you, Sheffer. I appreciate you. Let me get you updated as well. I'm just waiting on our the first song. Get me a guitar. Let's jam. In fact, okay, yeah, Sheffer, I got you with your extra 5. So Sheffer, you're actually going to run first, and then hopefully Bill can come in pretty quick. I'm just waiting on their email. So Sheffer, you came in right on time. I'm going to pull up your song right now. We're going to go straight into it. We're not going to waste any time. Been producing for 3. We're diving in. We're diving straight into the deep end, man. You just made it, man. You just made it right in time. You made it right in time. Been producing for 3 months. I've experimented with the bass with this one. That's why I'm sending. I have tested the physics of it as far as I could with the maths and science, but need another ear. Tell me if I'm there. Yeah, talk me. Yeah, no worries, Bill. I got you. There are 5 ahead of you right now, so I'm going to run theirs, and then you're next on the list as of this current moment. And we'll just kind of keep things flowing from there. But just keep an eye on the list on the other side, y'all, and we'll keep things rolling. But this is In the Kitchen. Sheffer, have I heard your music before? Is this my first time? The name seems familiar. But maybe I've just seen your name. Maybe I've just seen the name. Just remind me really quick. I hear and see so many names and so many artists and stuff like that. First time, let's go. Sheffer, I'm excited. I'm a rapper, so bear in mind, I've left space for that. Okay, so this is just the production currently speaking. This is In the Kitchen by Sheffer right here. Let's get into it. Only been producing for 3 months. I like that percussion. Got you, Nova. No, it's not Suno. There's no aliasing at the top. There's no high frequency saturation or anything. I like the panning of the percussion too. Yeah, it makes more sense being that there's going to be like 16 bars, breakdown 16 bars. That leaves this obviously a little bit more open. Got you, got you, got you. Yeah, panning's really cool. Remind me what you're producing on. I used to have some HS5s and some MSP7s before I got the focals I have in here. FL baby, let's go. Sounds good, Bill. Sounds good. For 3 months, man, this is really nice. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Show some love. That is In the Kitchen by Sheffers right here in the chat. Thank you, bro. I've been tuning in every day to guys like Jordan Westfall and just watching. 100%, dude. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's get into it. Let's dive in. 3 months producing. 3 months producing, and then I should hopefully have yours. I'm not on the page right now, but Bill, yours should have come in if it's in the typical spot. Quick reminder, if you would like to submit your music, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details there, and you'll see everything you need to submit. People keep asking, or not people, but Edo asking about the email. If you are at that link, the email is there. If you're at the link, the email is there, so just make sure that you read through. People like to skim. People like to skim. So start at the top, read through the details of the structure right there, and you won't be able to miss it because you will start to read an email, and that'll be the thing that you copy over. If you copy that email over, you'll be ready to go. This is In the Kitchen by Sheffers. Let's run it from the top. Here, okay, so I already really like the aesthetic, the feel, and the sound design. So I really like this like low sub bass. It almost sounds like a club that's like 2 miles away that you could hear in like a city or something like that. You have those like far away, really deep tone to the bass. I think that's really cool. Nice little slides in there. I like the feel of it. I think your percussion work is really great. The panning is nice and poppy. It gives you some space. It makes it feel wide and interesting and dynamic. Your pain point for a track like this, I know you're going to rap over it, but I still want to keep this in mind. So I understand there's a lot of openness here for you to be able to rap, bring in some bars, leave them, bring in some bars and leave them, maybe room for a hook. You can decide that yourself, depending on if this is more of a freestyle structure or you want to build a song out of it. As far as the dynamics go, that's the thing that I want you to keep in mind. It is a lot of the exact same. So you have this, like, it sounds like it might be like a splice loop or something, or something, or a cymatics loop, right? Where you have this. All right, this little synth. I don't know if it starts at the very beginning. Yeah. Right, that little lead melody, it's obviously like gated, it has the filters and stuff like that. What I want you to keep in mind is I've been repetitive, yes, but I kind of did that on purpose, and that's fine, right? So the thing, we talked about this yesterday with a couple artists as well. You can do some things on purpose, but then still have to keep in mind how it's received. So you create openly and authentically, and offer all of these different things to the mix. And then once you get into that, and once you have like all of your ideas out there, that's where I want you to go in a little bit more surgically and be like, okay, whether I wanted it like that, is it going to be forgettable? Is it going to be non-interesting because of the dynamic range? The thing we were talking about a lot yesterday, is how much the brain tunes out direct repetition and digital Jesus, I can't talk. Digital repetition, where you have a loop, you have MIDI, you have like digital sound design, right? Like just digital sound design that's the exact same, looped over many, many different parts of the song. When that happens, the brain just tunes it out because it's an actual exact replication of the same thing over and over again. Small breaks in it and stuff like that. But it's very, very consistent sound design. So the brain over the first like 45 seconds of that production will kind of just go, you know what I mean? It'll just kind of shut down. It'll just start to tune some things out. And because this is the underpinning of the entire, thank you for the bubblegum meowing, I appreciate it. Because it's the line of this whole song, that percussion, as well as that, AFE kind of lead synth that you have there. Joseph, thank you for the heart me. Because that's the underline right there. They will also start to tune out your vocal. They'll also start to, I know I'm saying, they'll also start to tune out the vocal because there's too much of the same sound design, the same sonics, the same profile right there, where your voice, unless it changes dramatically in the way that you're rapping and stuff like that, is also going to be really, really consistent in its dynamic range and its frequency profile and the way that it actually presents itself in the mix, right? So some of the things that I want to break down here is how can we keep a lot of that sound design, because I like it. How do we keep production structure? How do we keep this really like poppy and energetic and interesting movement in your percussion? And then also offer a couple little shifts in there that are more obvious sound changes that will actually amplify your vocal, right? Okay, I'm usually changing things a lot. Someone said be more repetitive, so that's why I'm a big guy. Right, so it's a little bit of both. This is so hopefully my goal with you, chefers, would be to bridge that gap where if you're changing things too often, right? If you're constantly changing things all the time and it's moving, then there's nothing to grab onto. There's nothing grounded. There's nothing rooted that is going to allow, people to, latch onto what you're doing and for it to become sticky and become catchy, right? If it's too much of the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, then you tune it out. So there's a sweet spot between the two of, can you keep the same energy and the same like overall aesthetic of the song with small changes in like dynamics, small changes in energy, small changes in other elements of this that will allow people to stay engaged with it while also not being, too repetitive or the opposite. So let's look at that. I cannot do rap music or vocals at rock. Do this after 3 months. Okay. And I'll update the line here in just a little bit. Okay, cool. Sorry. Thank you, Libby. So I was like, what's going on here? Okay, let me back it up here a little bit and we'll talk about exactly kind of how and why. In fact, let me update the line real quick. Let me get this up. Let's see. Joseph, I got you. Joseph, I appreciate you so much. Let me get you up here. Boom, boom, boom. And then we'll run through the song. Get it in order. Beautiful. All right, let's run it. Let's get it back from the top. And there's small, tasteful ways you can do it. So let's get it. Again, most of your like sound design and production, I really like it. Like even this, like I said before, it almost sounds like I'm hearing like a club or like a venue like a mile away. Like I actually like a lot of this sound design early on right here. I think it's really interesting. This would be a good again. I know you're already writing over this and stuff like that, but this would be a good pocket for like starting with a hook. Like if that'd be the way that I would format this. Have an intro. Any genre, Ron. Any genre. I mean, I like 80s stuff. I like synths. I like synthwave, dark wave, stuff like that. But I mean, I listen to and enjoy a lot of different stuff. Like let this build up. It'd be great to start with the hook right here. It's a good pocket for a hook. And let's imagine. So this is where like sound design change comes, right? So I'm gonna imagine some things. These don't have to be exactly time. I thank you for the heart. Me, good to see you, brother. These don't have to be things that you do. But what I want to do is like get your wheels spinning on how you can approach manipulating this a little bit. Let's assume we on top that changes. I do think you should add at least one element to your hook that separates it from the verse. And I could show you a couple ways that we can do that. But I would add at least one element that separates the verse from the hook. Yep, exactly. Some some high sine wave synth, some textural element that maybe layers over that old, that sounds like that TikTok sound. Anyways, sidebar there, ADHD. But that little line that you have on the synth right there, something that complements that, a harmony to that, or a high lead that kind of can collaborate with that and create a little bit more energy over the hook, I think would be great. And then what I think could also work really well, again, one new element for the hook, so it separates itself from some of the other verses and stuff like that. And then on the verse, what I would do is I would drop that an octave. Drop it down here, right? And so the whole time it's up here, it's the same register, same percussion, same line, same bass, movement, but it cuts in and out a couple different times, but for the most part, 90% of the time, same sound design and kind of same dynamics for all of it. If you add something to the hook to elevate that hook, increase the energy, increase some of the vibrancy there, and in tandem to that, lower the octave of your lead elements and maybe simplify a little bit on your verse so you can do a little bit more with your vocal, that can really help. That's what I was, or whatever, yeah. Whatever the melody is. I was like, as soon as I did that, I was like, oh, I know that. But yeah, and then separate it, drop the octave there, right? So let's imagine this is a hook. Kick in here. This is a hook, right? Start with the hook right here, build it out. Full 8 bars here or something. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Last 4 here, 2, 3, 4 here, and then you go to a verse. Now hear how the melody's still high. If you drop down to a verse right here, maybe take out the high shaker. So you just, but you don't get all the energy at the top of the mix. You can dull that down a little bit. Your voice will take the movement right there. Your vocal obviously is going to take center stage. It's going to be all about the vocal right there. Leave some of the congas in there, some of the bongos in the background too. I like the panning there, but maybe pull some of those top end elements out, like maybe top shaker, top snare accent, pull it back a little bit so you can simplify the percussion a little bit so the vocal has a chance to shine. In tandem to that, you take your high melody, drop the high melody down an octave. Now you have real space, right? It's not just space because you have a long production that loops with because right now, the space that you have is that it's a long production without vocals, so you have some space to fill, but there's not a lot of room in the activity of the song for that vocal to live. So if you can actually simplify the verse, drop the sample down an octave in there, instead of it's up there, and that drops an octave down right there. Now there's a lot more space for a really cool vocal to live over the top. That to me, again, we separate this a lot. Now there's more energy in your chorus because you have your hook, new elements at the top where you're opening up your production on the actual hook of the song, simplifying and darkening and lowering the register of the production, including maybe your vocal and that sample on the lower elements of the verse. And then you go back to the top again. When you go back to the hook again, you can crank it up again and get a little bit more life and energy out of the mix. Those little elements there. What's up, Musical Nuggets? So good to see you. How you doing? It's good to see you in here. I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you for the gifts so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the heart me. I appreciate that a lot. But yeah, a couple little things like that. That to me is we got to wake it up a little bit, even in the production. So let me skip forward a little bit. So let's say we're back hook right here. We just did a full 16 bars. We did a full, Edu, thank you so much for the TikToks. I appreciate it. Full 16 bars on the verse. We're back to a hook. And you can, how you structure this will depend on how you write. So if you end up doing like a 16 bar verse, that's up to you. If you end up doing like a second verse that you're feeling a line of communication there and you want to go like 32 bars and make it a really extended production, what my general rule of thumb is that at the very least, every 4 measures or so, you're changing sound slightly, just slightly. Nothing can be stagnant, nothing can be sterile, nothing can be too much of the same sound design or sonics. We need the production, even if it kind of perceptively feels the same, like where you have the same kind of drums and the bass underneath it. There needs to be small little dips and valleys and hills and stuff here that are going to kind of string you along on a little bit more of a journey in the production that will be a good foundation for your vocal to kind of follow those dynamics. If it's too much of that same, again, sonics, sound design, profile there, then it will, even a really cool voice and a really cool hard-hitting production will become boring and monotonous over the long term. So that's why I'm like, you have some cool production here. So you have some, and I'm excited to hear your voice on it eventually. You have some really cool production here, but the thing I want you to try to stray away from is too much consistency. Again, like I said, it's a balance. And what I like about what we're talking here is I'm not talking, when we're talking about it changing too much and people like, you need more repetition. What I'm talking about is taking what already exists here and redefining it slightly. So I'm not saying that, yeah, you got to cut all of this out because it's too repetitive, or you got to change all of this here because there's not enough repetition. I'm saying what you have is cool. We just need to turn this one to 4 and turn this one to 2 and like put this up here, put this down here, but it's the same stuff going on. Same sample, drop it an octave. Take out 2 of those congas in the background right there. Take out the shaker, add it back in with a new lead. Super simple, but you're kind of adding and taking away to build dynamics. And then when you get into tracking vocals on this, track accordingly, right? So when you build up the energy for the hook, stack those vocals, get a double on there, make some in and out, some accent vocals on the hook to give it some energy and some life, creative ad-libs as needed, as filler if you need it, stuff like that. But you can match the energy of the production as you build it out. I think you'll be in a great space. All right, let me skip towards the last part here because to me, that's kind of the whole track right here. That's cool. I mean, there's nothing I don't like about what's happening here, though. There's nothing that I don't appreciate about the production. To me, like it all works well together. Just needs a little bit more build out. It needs a little bit more happening, and then in some places simplification for the vocal to really, really shine. And then mix will come. Mix will come. Oh, we always need a Telecaster in there. Of course, Bill. Of course, of course. Because you can hear as it starts to become the same thing, right? Even with some small changes, we take out the drums for a second, we bring them right back in. Even with those small changes, we can really bring it to life, for sure. I mean, there's tons of potential here. The bones are great. Because there's nothing, this is the intro, this is the outro. This is the middle. Intro, middle, outro, same thing, right? Yeah, so you all show some love. So that's what I'm looking for, because man, the bones are there. The bones are there. You got a ton of potential, So y'all, man, please show some love to Sheffers. Sheffers, I really appreciate what you do. I'm excited to see. I don't know at all what your vocal artistry is like. So now we have a little bit of a surprise coming for hearing this a little bit more built out and actually hearing your vocal production on there, hearing what you do on the rapping side. I'm really excited for you to build the rest of this out, man. It's going to be really, really fun to see, especially because you are only 3 months into producing. That's what's blowing my mind. 3 months. I mean, obviously it's very consistent, which is typical of being new because you build something and you repeat it. That makes a lot of sense. I'm a female too. Okay, I'm sorry if I messed it up. But I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. So glad that you came in. Unknown, thank you for joining. I appreciate that a lot. I know sometimes I'm just reading through the chat and I can't see pictures and stuff like that too. So I apologize if I mess anything up. Let me double check. Yeah, absolutely. Let me double check one thing here too before we get rolling here. I'm excited. 3 months is crazy. 3 months, that's really impressive. It's typical when you're first producing. So you can be confident in this as well. It's typical when you first start producing to build something you really like and repeat it and edit from there. There's nothing at all. That's how everybody kind of starts, right? That's how most people start. So the fact that you're building your production, it sounds really good. It sounds cohesive. The sound design all works together. I think as you get into editing this down, it's going to be beautiful. I'm excited for it. So y'all please show some love. Show some love. That is Sheffers Artist, right? Yeah, Sheffers Artist right here in the chat. Show them some love. Show them some support. I'm excited to hear the next version of this. All right, let's keep it rolling. Let me get a couple things updated here, and then we will dive in. Let me see. Edu, I do have. Hold on. Okay, so Bill, I got you. Perfect. Okay, Edu, I don't have a full submission that I'm aware of, so just double check that. I do have I got you. Yeah, I got you, Bill. Edu, I do have your email. So just mention you do the, Joseph, thank you for the sunglasses. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's see. Let me see. We got Joseph, Bill, RJ, and Nova right now. Edu, I'm still waiting on yours. I have your email, but I don't have the credit. So just double check that. I appreciate you for the gift, man. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah. So currently Joseph, Bill, RJ, and Nova is where I have the list currently. Y'all can check it on the other platforms that we're live on. And then, yeah, so Edu, I'm just waiting on the credit on yours, but I do have your email. You're ready to go. All right. We got Joseph in the building. This is Joseph Upton. Call on Me. I believe I've heard Joseph's music. I'm positive I've heard Joseph's music before. I'm pretty positive. I just see so many names. Sometimes I just need like the quick reminder, and then I'm like, okay, I'm back. I'm locked in. But let's get this downloaded really quick. Let's get this downloaded. Quick reminder, if you would like to submit your music, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go. The line is up on the other platforms that we're live on. We're live on Twitch and YouTube as well. So just go find those platforms at my link. They're really obvious. You can see the YouTube video, or you can just see the icons at the top. Find the profile up there, and you'll be ready to go. But the line is always up on there. If you get ads on one of them, just switch to the other one. They're the same stream. But the line is always up on those platforms. I usually just tell people keep it up on a tab on another screen or something like that if you need to, or just bounce back and forth on your phone. All right, this is Call on Me Rough. No, that's Call on Me. Jesus, Call on Me Rough Master, I think is. I'm assuming is the name, not Call on Me Rough. I saw Call on Me Rough Master, and for whatever reason, I thought it was Calling Me Rough, and then it was the Master. That's a different kind of song. That's a different kind of song. That sounds like a slow night stream, like weekend song. You know what I'm saying? It's like this all the time. Yeah. Calling Me Rough. This is called, just so you know, now the song is called Call on Me Rough. It's a way better name. All right, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. This is Call on Me. This is a rough master. It is a rough master. That's what we're keeping in mind here. Give me some details. And also, I always recommend that people, since there's a lot of newer people in the chat, every time we go do these streams, let everybody in the chat know as well what you do, the role that you play in your music and stuff like that. And then if there's anything that you particularly want me to focus on, let me know, and we'll get it rolling here. All right, this is Call on Me by Joseph Upton. Let's dive in. Everything's you. Let's go.
So when you call on me,
what are you producing on? Production is YouTube. Beautiful. Nice.
Let's be honest, trust a little more.
You have a good voice.
So when you call on me, I'll be right there in a hurry. 'Cause we don't know what life has in store.
Good harmony. Nice little third note on the left side there. That's nice.
Be honest, trust a little more. When you're dark and lonely, I'll be shining beside you. When you're detached from this world, I'll pull you back in. Don't go forgetting all the memories we made. Filled with laughter, joy, and pain in every way. Although this life ain't always what it seems to be,
walk up to the E flat there.
Be honest, trust a little more. So when you call on me, I'll be right there in a hurry. 'Cause we don't know what life has in store. So baby, just be honest and trust a little more. You gotta be ready. You gotta be honest. You gotta
Tons
be
of potential here, man. Tons of potential.
Willing to love. You gotta be ready. You gotta be honest.
What kind of mic are you using?
You gotta be willing to love. Willing to love. You gotta be ready. You gotta be honest.
I used to have that mic. I know all too well how it sounds. I used to have that exact microphone years ago.
Willing to love. You gotta be ready. You gotta be honest. You gotta be honest. You gotta be willing. You gotta be loved. You gotta be willing to love. You gotta be ready.
And on that note right there, that's a really long delay tail, right? Dun, 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 dun. Mateo, welcome in. Not at all, Bill. Yo, show some love, show some love, show some love. That is Joseph Upton right here in the chat. Show them some love and support. That is Call on Me by Joseph. Definitely make sure that y'all follow the family, show them some love and support. We're going to dive into the details here. If y'all would, I see people asking if you want to submit your music for a 20 to 30 minute multiple listen, deep dive consultation into the structure of your music, whether that's mix, production, sound design, lyrics, whatever it may be. Go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow all of the details, and you can get yourself up on the board. If you want to check the line, it's on the other platforms that we're live on. You can find those at my link as well. Call on Me, Joseph Upton. Let's run it from the top and let's get into some details here. Okay. We'll dive into a couple things here. I think the main thing I want to address, there's some elements within the production potentially, but for me, I think the most important aspect of this is vocal production, and the way that you're mixing your vocals and how that's presenting itself in the mix. So that's the thing I want to focus on the most. There's, with music, of course, there's a lot of subjectivity, and there's also just a lot of different things that you can focus on. There's a lot of different things that we can go into, and so I want to focus on one that I think will be like the most beneficial, and then get into some nuance there as far as particularly vocal production and vocal mixing. Meowing, one day I'm going to be brave enough to submit my songs. You should, Meowing. And of course, there's never any pressure. I don't want anyone to ever feel pressured to submit their music. I know it's a vulnerable thing as well. So that, that to me is take your time. I want you to be comfortable. I want you to be confident, but also know that this is a safe place. This is just a space of growth. It's a place where you can be yourself. You can be authentic, and you never have to worry about, we're just going to trash you and roast you. If people start doing that, I'll just kick them out. I don't care. I want to be valuable. I want to be helpful. I want to make sure that you're actually getting something that's going to help you with specifically where you're at. And that's different for everyone. Everyone's in a different spot. So whether you submit soon or not, I'm not worried about it. I really appreciate you being here regardless. Just never feel afraid to. If that's the barrier, I want to make sure that y'all know that you're in a safe space. All right, Call on Me, Joseph Upton. Let's run it from the top. Let's talk vocal production. So it's just a long delay tail off that intro.
So when you call on me.
Okay, so one of the first things I want to get into is the overall kind of profile. Wyra, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. If you want to submit profile, click on the link. Go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the steps. We'll get you up there. The first thing I want to kind of address in the vocal here is it's a fairly raw vocal. Now, you have some effects on it. You have some, big delay tails on some of the early vocals. You obviously have reverb on there, and some other, effects to kind of place it in space. But the vocal itself, like the dynamic control of the vocal itself, is pretty raw, right? There's not a whole lot going on with it. I want to get into the EQ and compression, maybe tuning we can dive into briefly, but for me, the kind of starting point here of just gain staging and then EQ and compression, I want to get into a little bit. There's a couple moments in this where, and again, I used to have the exact same microphone that you have years ago. I had the MXL 770. So I know how that mic responds. I know how it sounds for the most part. Obviously, it's different vocal to vocal, but I kind of get what it does a lot of times. With your voice in particular, you're getting a lot of like low end mud and a little bit of like plosive energy there and stuff like that. I would, between like 100 and 300 hertz on your EQ on the vocal itself. On your EQ on the vocal itself, I don't know what your settings are on there, but maybe we can just control a little bit. Or if you even have an EQ on there, you can let me know. Does sound like there might be one on there. It's just not doing a whole lot. For your particular vocal, I want to keep a lot of low end in there because you have a nice, like breathy, high vocal. There's not a ton of like low end energy. So I want to maintain a lot of that, but I also don't want mud or any boominess, right? So what I would do on your vocal is at about, and non, thank you for the heart me, at about, let's say 90 hertz, 80 hertz, 90 hertz. You're going to do a high pass there on your EQ, and all of this you can do in FL easily, right? This is all stuff you can do with stock. High pass about, let's say 80 hertz, high pass at 80 hertz. And then between that 80 hertz, let's say 80 to 100 hertz and about 300 hertz, do just a soft bell curve right there and use that right there to pull down some of that mud, right? So between 100, actually, in fact, I can show you here. I'll switch over real quick. Boom. So you can see like how this is a voiceover channel, right? So the way that I've built this voice right here, just with this microphone is optimized more for me just talking to y'all. It's not necessarily my vocal mix, but this is kind of what I'm talking about. Where like right here, again, look, almost exactly, it's about 81 hertz, right? I have a little bit of a boost there to make this, a little beefier in the low end. You can see right here, right? A little bit of a cut right here. So about 80 hertz, I'm high passing. And then right here, between 100 and 400, 100 and 300 hertz, there's a little bit of a dip right there. And this just controls that mud. So if I push this up and now it's boomy, right? Now it's like boomy and muddy and nasty. If I pull it down too far, it's thin and tinny and gross, and no one wants to hear either of those things. Right now, yours is a little bit more on the boomy side, a little bit. So you're just going to take that curve. For me, it's right around like 200 hertz. I'm going to just go like down like a dB and a half, nothing too crazy, but just for my voiceover channel here. But that's that little curve right there that I want you to pull down lightly to take some of that mud and boominess out of your vocal, especially when you have a lot of vocals layering together with a lot of that mud. That frequency can start to build up and resonate in a way that doesn't sound the best. So I'd love to take some of that out of there. And then on the top end, right? On this top end over here, you might have a little bit of a lift here. I would give it maybe just another dB or two, just to open up the top end of the vocal just a little bit. There's some moments where it sounds a little dark, a little mellow and filtered, especially in this genre where you have really crispy snares, transient kicks and claps and stuff like that. And, bright, kind of, digital EPs and stuff like that and pianos. Your vocal needs to be able to cut just over the top of that. So a little bit of a lift in space and air at about like 9,000 hertz, 9K, 10K. Give you a little bit of a lift right there to just open it up a bit. Those little steps right there, just again, rebalancing some of this low end mud right here, pushing the top lightly. Just don't go crazy with it. People go crazy with it and they crank it 8 dB and the vocal is like hissy and brittle and abrasive to listen to. Tastefully pushed right there just to open it up while still maintaining control. So that's on the EQ side. Let me switch back over here. On the EQ side, that'll help just open it up a little bit. One of the biggest things that you really need though is dynamic control. We need some compression on your vocal. You can let me know, you might have some compressors on, you might have one on your vocal chain right now. If you do, they're not really being triggered, or they're very, very rarely being triggered. Where there's some times where I hear the vocal get really, really quiet, and then the same vocal line will get really, really loud. And we'll play the song in a second. I'll show you some of those parts, but it'll get really, really quiet and really, really loud. Or it'll just kind of jump through the mix really quickly. I would encourage you to have multiple stages of compression to help control that vocal. I typically, depending on the vocal, this is, it's a different song to song and vocal to vocal, but for the most part, I'll typically have something that has a bit of a faster release and something has a little bit of a slower release. One to like catch some, maybe it's a little bit faster attack too, but something to catch peaks and control, and then one to smooth and even everything out. And I usually have those in a chain, one to the next. You can do this with stock plugins. I've done it a ton of times with stock plugins. It's the same kind of a profile. Or if you want to emulate, then you can do like a 76 to a 76 to a 2A, LA2A, which is what I use in combination right there. One's got a faster release, I'm taming peaks, and then another one that is smoothing everything out. What that allows, you have the producer edition. Okay, yeah, so you should have a lot at your disposal to help with some of this stuff. What that's going to allow for is when you sing, like for me, right? I have actually 3 compressors on my vocal right now. One is analog. It's an analog tube compressor from ART that's on the outside. It's an outboard. That is literally just kissing the top of the vocal. It's just like, if I get super, super loud, it'll just kind of tell it to sit down. Barely doing, otherwise it's not doing anything. And then I have the 76 and the two-way in the box, like in Pro Tools. And what that allows for is I can talk really quiet, like I can like whisper, right? I can like whisper and almost have vocal fry, and you can hear how it's still kind of forward. It's still kind of pushed forward in the mix. It sounds like crispy and controlled. And I can also like talk really loud, right? Like I can sing really loud and talk really loud and talk high, and it just kind of controls all of that. None of it really like. I'm also not changing my proximity to the microphone. It allows me to go really loud and really quiet and actually like lock in everything and keep that dynamic range really controlled. So when I sing louder, it controls it and keeps it really smooth and even. And even when I sing quieter, it kind of lifts up that low end information and makes it feel, really, really clean and forward. I can explain to her in chat. I'll get filtered. I don't know. Click. I don't know. Click. What am I missing? What's click? Blue, what's up? Ryan, welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah. Okay. So, Wyra, what you need to do is go to my profile on TikTok, right? Go to my profile. So you need to tap my name twice. You're going to go to my profile on TikTok. If you go all the way to my page, if you go all the way to the page, you'll see a link right there. You'll see a link. Tap that link. So click or tap that link on your phone, and that will send you to a list of different links right there. And you'll see one that says like submission, something like that. It's like track talk submission or live stream submission, something like that. I haven't been to the link in a while. When you go there, you can read through all of the details to submit right there. But you got to go all the way to my profile. So click on my face twice in the corner where the picture is. Go all the way to my profile, click on the link. And when you tap on that link right there, it'll send you to where you need to go, where you can see the steps to submit. Let me see. Okay, but the compression, that's one of the things that I'm listening for here. I'm wanting a real good mic yet, affordable. What's your budget, Anon? What's your budget? And what kind of mic are you looking for? So that's kind of what I'm looking for. That's kind of what I'm looking for. It's like right now, Blue Baby Bottle, let's go. I used to know a lot of people that used to use those quite a bit. Right now, your vocal has a really broad dynamic range, so it cuts in and out of the mix and has the mud, right? So that combination of cutting in and out of the mix, kind of inconsistent vocal layering, and that little bit of mud and stuff right there is what's creating what is feeling like a more amateur vocal mix, right? If you can open up the top end, control the low end, and control that dynamic range, immediately this vocal will sound way more professional and polished, way more professional and polished. So that's where I want you to start. I want you to kind of start there. Now, there's also some times where you're a little bit flat in the mix, And so, depending on what you feel like you want to do and what your standards are for this, I wouldn't be mad if you had a little bit of like flex pitch. I think you're in FL, right? Like some, auto tune or flex pitch. I prefer manual tuning, especially in this style. I think Melodyne would be a good tool. It's just expensive oftentimes. Melodyne, I think, is a good tool for manual corrections of your vocals. So you can place things exactly where you want them to be. Just because there's sometimes where you have multiple layers that are a little sharp and flat, and the combination of that builds a lot of tension, a lot of dissonance that isn't the most relieving to listen to. So there's a couple little pockets in there. Again, those three things: pitch control tuning, compression chaining, and your EQ transforms the way that it sounds. It makes a huge difference. Okay, let's go a little deeper into it here. But I hear that stuff through the whole song. If you change that, this is like restructuring your vocal chain. If you change that, it's worlds different. Wyra, I see you on YouTube. Welcome in.
'Cause we don't know what life has.
Wyra, okay, hold on. You sent, you submitted through the contact form. Yeah, I love it. I just use it RTA and Pro Tools. It's beautiful. It makes it so easy. You submitted through the contact form. So I'll show you. I'll show you real quick. That mic a few times and now it's on, it's in my head. There's some, okay, for 400, for under 400, I would most likely go with one of two options. One would be the Lewitt 440 Pure. Those are about $280. I love those. I think they're some of the best mics for the price. The Lewitt 440 Pure. Those are fantastic. Lewitt. The other option for $400-ish $300 to $400. This is, I think, about $320. So again, a little bit less than 400. I would probably get the Loudwin Audio LA320. Either one of those are going to be awesome. So Lewitt 440 Pure or the Loudwin Audio LA320. Got to make sure I get 320, 220. 220. It's a 220. The 320 is a tube mic. It's a little bit bigger. Sorry. Got to get my numbers right. Lewitt 440 Pure, Loudwin Audio. I got you. I'll just comment it here. Hold on. I got you. I'll just comment it right here. It makes it easier. Lewitt 440 Pure. Boom. And Loudwin Audio LA 220. Boom. Boom. There you go. Screenshot that. Do a couple searches. The Lewitt's like $280. The Loudwin is like $350, $325, something like that. Okay, Wyra. Here's what you got to do. Let me see. So you can see, hopefully this comes through. Sometimes the glare is kind of annoying, right? You can see the profile right there. Focus. What's going there? Right? So you can see the profile there. So you can see the link. Move this over here. So you can see the link right there in the middle. Tap that link. Boom. Hold on. Boom. Tap that link and it takes you here. Come on, focus. It's like too bright. Hold on. Try turning it down. There we go. You can kind of see it. Sorry, it's like a little overexposed, but you get the idea. Right there. And then you can see join the full stream and submit right there. So, and then underneath it says submit your music here. Right there. At the bottom right there. I'm backwards on my screen. Boom. Submit your music here. So when you click that, it takes you here. That's where you want to be. Tells you the minimum, tells you to, check the line, gives you some details. Just keep scrolling right there. Boom. So you can see if you scroll down, send your music, and you see the email right there. There's the email right at the top. So it says send your music and visuals if you need visuals, which we're not really doing as much right now, but track talk submission to Gmail right there. And you keep scrolling all the way down. There's where you can send credit, so on and so on. Those are the details right there. So you send it to that email. Don't do a contact form. Send it to that email. And then the credits underneath that if you want to submit. And then I saw you on YouTube. So on YouTube, that's where you can see the line. So like if you're on YouTube, you can see the line right here next to me. Got you. Hopefully that helps. I know it can be confusing. Okay. Joseph, you with me? We're good. And Adalik, okay, I'll double check in a second. Just make sure you did follow all of the steps because I don't think I see a submission right now. Maybe just an email, but just make sure that you follow all the steps.
Don't go forgetting all the memories we made. Filled with laughter, joy, and pain.
So all that here. Laughter, joy, and pain. You have all these different movements and stuff right there. So when you're getting into those, that's where I want like better pitch control. One more thing, and then we'll move on to the next song. Let me get into this outro here really quick.
Willing to love, you gotta be ready. You gotta be honest.
A little bit of clipping right there. So you gotta be ready. You gotta be honest. There's a little bit of clipping in the vocal right there too. So just that's going to be gain staging and maybe some digital clipping in the DAW, but it sounds like it's happening at your preamp. So make sure that you are maybe a little bit farther off of the mic. Might be that you're a little bit close. It might be where some of that low end boom and that kind of proximity effect and low end buildup is happening. So you might want to, thank you for the heart me visually. You might want to separate yourself from the mic just a little bit on some of these moments. Step a little bit farther back or when you're going to be singing higher, you want to be ready. You have these stronger vocals, towards the end of the song here. You might also want to just turn down the gain on your preamp so you're not going in clipping. Try to hit FL Studio a little bit lower, and then you can kind of compress and control from there without it clipping, actually clipping the preamp. There's maybe some other digital clipping going on as well, but I think most of that's happening as I just hear you get really loud right there. Again, dynamic control will help, but that will only happen after you have already clipped on the preamp. So that's where I would make sure you control those levels in the preamp first, because that's the first step before. Once you've clipped there's nothing you can really do in the DAW to control that, right? But if you come in a little bit quieter, there's a lot that you can do to control it and boost it. But if you come in too hot and you clip, no amount of EQ and stuff is going to take that in a little little bit later. Aiton, I got you. Welcome in, man. Yeah, we're wide open right now. We're wide open, running. It's our first 2 songs so far, so we're still moving and grooving here. Okay, last thing I want to mention really quick, Joseph. Last thing I want to mention is the positioning of your vocals, and then we'll move on to the next song. So one of the other things, I want to play this outro here really quick.
Willing to love, you gotta be ready. You gotta be honest, you gotta be
Right here.
honest, you gotta be willing.
Delay tails in the middle. We gotta be ready, gotta be honest. You have all of these kind of loops that are happening over and over and over in the background of that same vocal, and some ad-libs and some layers and some harmonies, and they're all kind of sitting right behind each other. What that is doing is it's building up a lot of energy right there in the middle of the mix. And excuse me, over the course of the song, your vocals start just stepping on the toes of each other because they're all kind of coming at you from right down the middle. As you're layering your vocals, I would start double tracking and then positioning outside and around the vocal, right? So if you're going to do a double of the vocal, do one on the left and one on the right. This is not a rule. There's different ways and reasons to do it otherwise, but starting out here. Track one on the left, track one on the right, and then pan them to the outside. Process them slightly different, maybe timed slightly different, but keep them on the outside of the vocal. If you're going to do a harmony, track one on the left, track one on the right. It's going to give you this nice wide open feel to your vocal structure as opposed to everything. So like your lead vocal, the double of a vocal, a harmony, and an ad-lib, and the delays of all those are coming at you right down the middle. And they're all the same profile of a vocal, right? They all sound like the same vocal because they're all you. So they all start to, just frequency-wise, they start stepping on each other's toes. It just gets noisy. It gets busy. I want to clarify a lot of that. And that's where I want to open those up, start painting these to left, painting these to the right, opening up that structure. They're all going to kind of get out of the way of that lead vocal so it can just shine in the middle of the mix. And when those stacks come in, those vocal layers and harmonies and stuff come in, they offer some energy. They offer some energy and a little bit more movement on the outside of the mix that actually improves the vibrancy of the mix instead of just creating noise and mud in the middle of the mix. So that'd be one of the last little things. Ali, I already submit my song through. Okay, let me double check. I'll double check in a little bit. Just I'll be on the lookout for it. I haven't seen anything, but let me double check. It might have just come in. Oh, that's Aiton. I got Aiton. I'll double check in a little bit. I should do 30% left and right with how far should they pan. That kind of depends on how wide you want to go. I would typically go a bit farther. That's still pretty close. The perceived loudness is going to increase the farther out you go. So if you pan something all the way to the left, because it's so distinct to your ears, it sounds a lot, you perceive it as a lot louder and more isolated. So the wider you go, you can go to 100%. If you want a nice like wide R&B vocal with good stacks and good layering and stuff like that, you can go all the way to the outside. You can open it up quite a bit. It just depends on stylistically what you're looking for, but 30% is still pretty close to mono. It's still pretty close to narrow if that's as far out as you're going. So I would start to put, maybe a lower octave that you have, go 40, 50%. If you want to have some higher doubles or like a third note harmony that's a little bit higher and some ad libs, maybe go like 70 to 100%, like push it out a little bit wider and give it a little bit more openness. But keep in mind, it will make it feel louder, right? So you might pin it out and be like, dude, these are crazy sounding now, and then pull it back by a couple dB in order to kind of rebalance the vocal in the mix. But I think if you tackle all of those things, better vocal positioning, better dynamic control through multiple stages of compression, better actual like frequency control and through your filtering and like EQ and stuff like that, and regaining some clarity and separation for the vocal, and at the same time, maybe some better like performance and better like tuning control, pitch control, stuff like that. All of those things being more consistent polishes this up quite a bit. It's already a good song. You have some good lyrics, you have some good repetition, a good hook, stuff like that. But that level of polish, I think, is going to come through really reworking some of your vocal chain and making this feel a little bit cleaner, a little bit more separate, a little bit more vibrant. But y'all, please show some love to Joseph Upton. Joseph, I really appreciate what you do. Man. Keep chipping away at this because there's a lot of bones here. There's a lot of potential here that I think can do some really, really good stuff. So I'm excited to see how you update some of this and how you update your vocal chain, because there is actually a lot of potential. You do have a good voice. It's not every day that we hear just a raw vocal like that, like something that hasn't really been tuned or tuned extremely loosely that can still carry like pretty good consistent hook structure, some good vocal runs, stuff like that. So I'm actually very excited. Joseph, thank you for the coffee, man. I appreciate that so much. And Jackie, thank you for the rose and thank y'all for the follows. I really appreciate it. Y'all show some love to Joseph. I appreciate you so much, man. Let me get 18 up on the board. Gotta be ready. It's gonna be catchy. I'm telling you, it's good repetition. It's catchy. We just gotta position it well. Just gotta position it well. Let me see. Don't beg. Follow the rules. Follow the rules. All right. Me, rhythm guitars, left and right, all vocal tracks, played rhythm with the Music Man Axis through a Vox AC10. I'm trying to get an AC. I used to have an AC15 years ago. No, it's Libby, it's crazy. I used to have an AC15 years ago, and I had to get rid of it. This is probably 8 or 9 years ago. I'm really trying to get an AC15 back in here. I would love an AC15 C2, the 212. I love it so much. This is the best. I played AC15s. I played a couple of AC13 or AC30s. It is just the best, most amazing sound. I love that amp. And I have a Fender DeVille 410 in here it's loud as hell, but it's almost the 410 that I have. And it's a 60 watt 410 tube amp, Fender tube amp. It's almost too loud. So the problem is like in my studio here, it's almost too like prominent and too loud where it's very challenging for me to get to the point of breakup. You know what I mean? Like the one thing I love about having the AC15, either a C1 or a C2, but the one thing I love about the AC15, even like your AC10, first, like even like a smaller space, a 10-inch speaker. What I love about those is you can push it in a cool way. You can push it in a cool way. They're still very, very loud, especially a 30 is crazy. But the AC10 and AC15, you can push it right to the point of breakup and it just shines. It is just one of the most spectacular amps. I love it. Anyways, I'm trying to sell my Fender right now so that I can get an AC15 back in here. Well, here, Vox now. I know it. We got Bill Kurt in the building. Living. Shameless. All right, let's roll it. Doug's in the building. What's up, Doug? Good to see you. And then Ellie, I don't have a submission for you yet. I'm refreshing a couple things over here. I don't have it through the website, and I don't have it through any of the other platforms. So keep in mind, if you, oh wait, you sent more. Okay, let me double check. I'm going to try to get everything in order here and make sure everyone's in the right order. If you are wanting to submit your music, people are skipping steps. If you want to submit your music, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow all of the steps. If you sent the email, that's half the steps. Follow the other steps and we'll make sure that we get you up on the board in line with everyone else. If you want to see that line, I think as some of you already have, it's on the other platforms that we're live on, YouTube and Twitch. You can check them out over there. But just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Make sure that you have followed both steps. It's not just the email. You got to get credit on the board so that I can get you in order with the other people there. RJ, let me double check for you really quick. I appreciate you so much. I got you, man. Let me make sure I have these in the right order and then we will go accordingly. Got you, RJ. Appreciate you. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. Moon, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. All right, so we got RJ, Bill Curd, A10, and where to go? And Nova. Okay, let's keep it rolling. I'm trying to move at a decent pace today. I feel like I'm doing okay. Feel like I'm doing okay. Let's go. We're moving and grooving. RJ, give me all the details. Drop it in the chat. I'm downloading the track right now. Give me all of the details. Talk to me about context. If I haven't heard your music before, yeah, they're at the top. I'm going to try to move quick. So we can get through some more music today. Yeah, give me context. Give me details. This is Abandoned. By RJ right here in the chat. Talk to me about production. Talk to me about mix.
Boy 50. Now that I'm back alone stranded, open up the wounds, I'm damaged. All the way back as a kid abandoned. Pop 2 tabs, I'm off this planet. All of these feelings inside of me swirling around and they're making me nauseous. Should've been playing it safe. Should've been treating my heart with some caution. I don't know when it occurred to me. She giving up, but she isn't alone. I see it ringing, don't pick up the phone. As her heart breaking, her heart getting cold. She doesn't want me to know. Start to get distant, her energy low. Depression take over, she losing her soul. She doesn't wanna let go. Tears in her eyes as she stare at the phone. Gotta be strong, you'll be better alone. You'll be better alone.
I like the Aston. Aston's another great mic for the price. It's a good mic.
I know that forever is a lie. They get attached all the time. They say it's forever, but that shit is is always now that I'm back alone stranded. Open up the wounds, I'm damaged.
I remember when Logic came out, Ethan.
2 tabs, I'm off this planet. All of these feelings inside of me swirling around and they're making me
Avis, welcome in.
Should have been playing it safe. Should have been treating my heart with some caution. I don't know when it occurred to me. She giving up, but she isn't alone. I see it ringing, don't pick up the phone. As her heart breaking, her heart getting cold. She doesn't want me to know. Start to get distant, her energy low. Depression take over.
Where'd you get the production? Maybe I answered it. Let me see.
Tears in her eyes as she stare at the phone.
I think you're tracking on Logic, right? But the production's somewhere else. Find beats on YouTube. Okay, got you. Got you.
I know that forever is a lie. They get that attached all the time. They say it's forever, but that shit is always. Now that I'm back alone stranded, open up the wounds, I'm damaged. All the way back as a kid abandoned. Pop 2 tabs, I'm off this planet. All of these feelings inside of me swirling around and they're making me nauseous. Should have been playing it safe. Should have been treating my heart with some caution. Should have been playing it safe. Should have been treating my heart with some caution.
Peace. Peace, Trav. Y'all, show some love. Show some love. Show some love. That's why people are here, because they're not here to impress you. They're not here to make you happy with their music. They're here to learn. They're here to grow. They're here to improve on their structure. So that's why people come in here vulnerably with music that they want to work on, so that they can actually gain some tools, actually gain some experience and gain some information that would help them improve. All right, which is what we're going to do. Let's get into it. This is Abandoned by the Family right here. So y'all, please show some love. Show some love. Show some love. That is RJ Potter right here. RJ Potter. Let's get it. Let's run it from the top. The biggest thing that I want to focus on, honestly, similar to the last song, this is a YouTube beat. I think you just have it off the 2-track, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think you have multi-track on this. It sounds like this is worked off the 2-track, which is perfectly fine. We can talk about kind of fitting that in a little bit, but that's already like a pre-mastered beat for the most part, right? Where it's pretty much, done what it's going to do, and you can do some things to kind of, fit the vocal in there and stuff like that. What I mainly want to address is vocal production. There's some performance and timing issues that I want to kind of fine tune and make sure that we get worked out here so that this sounds as cohesive and as polished as possible while still having all of the emotion that you want to have in the song here. So let's work it out. Or since something finished, so Torv can dig it. 100%, Bill. 100%. Exactly. I mean, we did that yesterday. Yesterday and the day before, we've had some really cool artists come in. That were like just very, very, it's not huge artists. Not one of them had like 30,000 monthly listeners, but they were like very established, great quality, phenomenal musicians. Yesterday, we had a rock band, a metal band that came in that was really, really talented, super, super good. And they had like 900 monthly listeners. They had just come out with stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's some people that come in with some finished stuff and they're great, but I also like working out the details too. All right, this is Abandoned by RJ right here in the chat. Let's run it from the top and let's get into it. Welcome in. I appreciate y'all being here. Quick reminder, tap the screen. Share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send in your heart me. It does really help out the live stream. So make sure y'all are tapping the screen. But let's get into this. Track and then we'll keep it flowing. Back it up. Back it up. Silk in the building. What's up, Silk? Welcome in.
Now that I'm back alone stranded,
I'm doing well. Welcome in.
Damaged all the way back as a kid abandoned. Pop 2 tabs, I'm off this planet. All of these feelings inside of me swirling around and they're making me nauseous.
Okay, so one of the first elements that we need to kind of fine tune here is timing. It's actual vocal phrasing, timing, and input in. I'm assuming a couple things are happening. One is just timing. One is just the need to correct some timing as you're performing, right? Maybe there's a little bit of scripting, so you're reading off your lyrics, you're rushing a little bit because because there's a different focus, not on like memorization and performing and fitting it into the song structure, but you're reading. So you're going through lines, your brain's trying to catch up. So there's some, a little bit of rushed lyricism in there in front of the pocket by a couple milliseconds that's making it feel more anxious. It's making it feel a little bit off time, in tandem with potentially, especially if you're self-tracking and don't have everything set up, potentially also with some like latency compensation happening as well, where it could even just be like a few milliseconds or 15 milliseconds of latency that is pushing your vocal back. And so you compensate for it, and you just subconsciously even start recording in front of the beat a little bit because the vocal is delayed slightly. And then all of your vocals then sound rushed. I think for one, I'm always the biggest fan of fix it at the source, fix it at the very start, depending on your capacity to do that. I think it would sound better if you literally just select it all. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Select all, take all of your vocals and move them down the playlist by like 10 milliseconds. If you just selected all of that and moved it back, I think that alone would improve your timing for the whole song, because I do think the vast majority of the song is a few milliseconds in front of the pocket. This is a very like chill beat. It's a very like chill vocal performance. It's like dark and moody and laid back and lazy. And so if your vocal is like way in front of the pocket or way off time, or it's too fast, it's going to make it feel more anxious. It's actually going to make it feel like it's higher energy, which doesn't really match most of the production structure there. Thank you for the bubblegum, Joseph. I appreciate you. And so I would love to like regain some of the chiller feeling that's happening here, or that's kind of the potential and your intuition for this record, and slow this down a little bit and move that vocal back in the playlist. So I think you can start by taking it all and moving it back just a little bit. If that doesn't work, obviously my priority would be that you record a little bit better in your timing, a little bit more in the pocket, if not even a little bit later in the pocket, to offer some swing and a little bit of a hold there, as opposed to rushed or anxious or in front of the beat. Right there is, again, it's going to make it feel more energetic when you want it to feel chill. And so you want to kind of move back the other direction there a little bit. Yeah, Bill, they can't replace anything. It's all off a 2-track on YouTube. All just a 2-track on YouTube. So there's no really editing that they can do to the production necessarily. Okay, let me keep it rolling here just a little bit, and then we'll talk about like vocal mix itself. But the first thing that I want you to address is just where those vocals actually sit on the timeline. If you do find Mr. Pepe, thank you for tapping in over on Twitch. Just type !submit right there in the chat, and it'll pop up. !submit. It'll pop up. You can, I'm backwards, boop, over here. You can see the line right here. Here's the minimums. There's the line. You can kind of see where you want to go, if you want to go faster, slower, so on and so on. But it's all right here, and then all of the details are at that link right there. Hey, Will, it's only over on Twitch that you can do that. On TikTok, just go to my profile, click on the link, and then you'll be ready to go. Okay, let's get into some of the vocal mix stuff. But here, really quickly before we do that, when you are digging into, let me see, these vocals here.
Get me nauseous. Should have been playing it safe. Should have been treating my heart with some caution.
So my priority, obviously, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. My priority would be that you record this as close to that pocket as possible, so you're not having to do editing afterwards to correct timing. Try to get it right at the source. That will be my priority every single time. Get it right at the source. So even with that, depending on your settings, on what you record, whether PC, Mac, whatever, you're going to want to probably change your hardware buffering sizes, just because, yeah, it's out of the pocket and most of it's in front, which usually tells me there's some compensation there for those reasons we were talking about. Check your buffer settings. If you're running into latency issues, you should be able to go in, you're on FL Studio, go into your settings, and go to your hardware buffering settings, and that will determine how much latency you're recording with. I typically will record low and then mix high. That can also like determine how much processing power that you have within your session. So the lower that buffer size is, the less latency you're gonna have, so you can record really quick, but it also doesn't allow for a ton of processing. So once you have tracked, I will usually then switch my hardware buffering size to something much larger, what's like 250 to 500 or something like that, or even a little bit higher. That way you can mix with a little bit more power. For running my mastering app, I have to give you oh yeah, dude, 100%. Logic Pro, I have it set to 32. Okay, so that's a low. I also have processing on the recording track. So yeah, just use your ear. If you feel like you're a little bit latent, where like when you hear your voice back, it feels delayed a little bit, then it might be one of the plugins. Like even with the Antares, if you're using Antares Pro, that's usually a little bit higher latency than like EFX or Hybrid or Live or something like that. So just go into your setting. You can see usually like what is creating some latency within your vocal. If that's happening, it might not be happening. It might just be rushed. That happens. People, it can be, there can be some adrenaline and tracking and you're trying to get it right. Like that happens all the time. So if there is just a little bit of adrenaline or anxiety, whatever it may be, or even just some timing issues where it is a little bit rushed, just bump it back a little bit and then you'll be ready to go. But also prioritize tracking it in that time. You'll be much better off. Okay, let's jump in the middle of the track here really quick.
Kid abandoned. 2 tabs, I'm off this planet. All of these feelings inside of me swirling around and they're making me nauseous. Should have been playing it safe. Should have been treating my heart with some caution. I don't know when it occurred to me.
Because I want to hear it. I want to hear that, like that feel and that movement right there that's like really consistent with the pocket. When it jumps out of that pocket, it's not just that it's off time, right? Like you can do some interesting, weird, jazzy things with like some latent vocals and some timing changes that are kind of creative and interesting. I mean, even as a drummer, like using pocket can really determine the emotion. But it's like pretty shocking the difference in like emotional perception that you get as an audience depending on how things are timed. Like actually like opening up the track with a little bit of swing makes things feel completely different than rush, which is completely different than quantize to the grid. Like it's a very, very different feeling and emotion that you actually are getting out of the song depending on your timing. So if you are wanting more emotion out of this, you're wanting people to feel the lyrics a little more, I would probably slow down. If you're going to bias anyway, slow down, then speed up because it completely changes the feel and allows you to kind of settle into the production here a little bit. The Golden Hour Cry because it's so good. No, we're not listening to pop. We're not listening to popular artists. This is for underground independent artists, musicians, producers, engineers, vocalists, songwriters, so on and so on.
She giving up, but she isn't alone. I see it ringing, don't pick up the phone. As her heart breaking, her heart getting cold. She doesn't want me to know. Start to get distant.
This one's pretty fast.
Depression take over, she losing her soul.
This is 20 milliseconds in front of the pocket right there. So all of that needs to kind of come back under control. Okay, vocal mix really quick. Now there's a lot of different things here that we can address. My first suggestion is to just take some steps backwards in the processing of your vocal and just kind of loosen up everything. There's kind of a lot that's happening all at the same time. Now, autotune, I'm not going to touch. Autotune is a taste thing, right? So I'm not really too worried about the autotune. Compression, EQ, reverb, stuff like that. I think it's all just 20% doing too much, right? So your vocal's incredibly, incredibly squashed and you're hearing something like the snapping and like transient response that's happening when the compression is like grabbing onto that signal and forcing it down. So it makes it really kind of brittle sounding. It's got this real big crunch to it. That's not even just saturation and brightness, right? It's got this snap to it that can be kind of abrasive to listen to. On the EQ side, this is very, very thin. You've pulled out a lot of the low mids, like 100 to 400 hertz. It seems like that's got a pretty decent dip to it. High pass maybe a little bit higher than we want, at least maybe 120, maybe lower, but you can kind of look at what you're doing. But you have a lot of that low end and low mids cut out of the vocal, and then the high end cranked. Right? The high end is cranked. So you got, 10,000 hertz for the air. 10,000 hertz is cranked up really, really high. And that's opening up the top end, sure, but it's also making it harsh. It's making it abrasive to listen to. That probably introduced a bunch of sibilants and S's and stuff. So you de-essed and pulled it back. So then you get a little bit control from there. But what's happening, what it sounds like is happening on the engineering side is that every next plugin is just a Band-Aid to the next or to the last one. Right? So like you have one plugin on here and it didn't sound great yet. So you added one as a fix and then you added the next one as a fix to the last one, next one as a fix to the last one, as opposed to, I'm explaining your mix. Let's go. I love it. Every next plugin is just kind of a fix to the last one, as opposed to them being like tasteful choices to mold and shape your vocal in a way that's like positive. Like you're trying to get as much out of that vocal as possible, as opposed to constantly fixing and suppressing issues. So what I would do is just loosen everything up, right? Get good, pull out a little bit of that low end, like I mentioned with the last artist, 80 to 90 hertz and below, no higher than that, right? That low cut right there, like I'm gonna switch back. Hold on here. Boom. Like I'm gonna pull up the EQ again so we kind of see what we're talking about. So like here on just like Fab Filter, and again, this is a voiceover chain. You're not copying anything here, but like this right here, like it sounds like this 80 hertz that we're seeing right here. That sounds like that's like up at like 120, 130 or something like that. This little curve right here where I'm a dB, like, and you can hear what my voice sounds like. It's a dB and a half down, and you get my voice is pretty bright right now. It's pretty forward and bright. And again, it's a voiceover chain. It's not necessarily for singing, but you get the idea. Like that's pretty bright and has some good, good control to it. But if I crank this down here, so this is a little bit more of what I'm hearing, right? If I crank this down here and I push this up to the top, this is a little bit more of what I'm getting out of this. It's very different. So keep this in mind. It's a very different sounding vocal and everything that's going on. But if I crank this up here, there's 10K up, 7, I'll push this even higher, 10K up, 10 dB. I'm pulling all this down here. Now it's like thin, tinny, and again, it's not harsh on my end. Yeah, you can hear the idea. I have too many other plugins that I'm doing to control. So like, it's not going to sound, and this is a good tube microphone. So it's helping control some of that harshness just in natural saturation, but you get the idea where it's a lot more harsh and it's a lot more thin, right? Now take that and kind of move it back into the way that, let me push this back under control. It'll drive me nuts. Let's see, let's fix that again. Yeah, that's fine. That'll do it. And let's move back over here. Boom, and we're back. So when you're doing those curves, again, then what'll happen, you're like, oh, it's like, now it's harsh. So then you added a de-esser after that, right? Or something like that. You're like, oh, now it's really harsh. My S's are killing me. So I added a de-esser right after that to suppress it. And then your vocal, just everything is happening so surgically that there's no life left in the vocal. It's just kind of a thin, bright, flat vocal. You lose a lot of the emotion. You lose a lot of that natural weight in the vocal and presence in the vocal. And you lose like your voice. When vocals, this happens, this is not a solo issue for you. This is like 90% of people engineering their own music. Pro Q3, Pro Q4 is so fundamentally different. It's dramatically different. I'm like, yeah, anyways, sidebar. So the whole structure of the way, what happens with a lot of people that are engineering for themselves, especially if they just haven't been doing it for that long, or they're still figuring out how to mix their own vocals and stuff like that as a solo artist, it's the thing that I hear the most of, where every vocal becomes the same vocal. If I thin out my vocal a whole bunch and I lose all that character and presence in the low end of my vocal, and I over brighten it to where I lose like my natural vocal, high end, and it's really incredibly like really inflated at the top end right there. And then I over de-ess it because now it's too harsh and abrasive. So I'm like pulling all of the life out of my natural phrasing with my S's, T's, C's, K's, stuff like that. And I have these, and it's like hyper compressed. And then I really, really, really auto-tune it. This vocal has become like, if this is the full image of your vocal like this, if this is the full image of your vocal, we've kind of squeezed it down to this one little thing. You know what I mean? Like every different characteristic of your vocal has been kind of compressed down and tuned down and EQ'd down to where everyone kind of sounds the same when they do this. And you lose you lose RJ. And I want to hear RJ. I want to hear, I still want to hear it auto-tuned. I still want to hear it compressed, like all of those things, right? Like take like Chris Brown, or like a vocal like that, an artist like that, where that is a highly saturated, highly compressed, highly stacked, super auto-tuned vocal. You know exactly what you're listening to. As soon as Chris Brown jumps in and jumps on a track, you know exactly who you're listening to, right? Because they have found a way to still have the effects and the taste that they want, the color and the character that they want on the track, without robbing the vocal of its natural characteristics, and still offering it some character. So that's what I want you to focus on, because like right now, again, I don't mind I don't care who uses autotune or doesn't use it. It's just going to be done tastefully. It's got to make sense for the song. It's got to be what you want to do stylistically, not necessarily just as a crush, but as a tool and a stylistic decision. I don't really care. The other side of that, the EQ, compression, saturation, de-essing, things like that, that's where I'm like, I really want to hear RJ. And right now this has been squeezed down into something a little bit different. And I really want to get a little bit more out of your vocal. Let me get into the outro of the song really quick. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that gives you just a little bit of insight of how you can kind of, again, I'm like stepping back from some of your process, like EQing a little bit, like not as exaggerated with some of the curves that you have right now, and introduce a little bit more life and character back into your vocal. I think it'll really wake this up quite a bit. And then all of that with better timing, better performance, right? So like if you warm up this vocal, you control its dynamic range without squashing. If you take out some of that harshness, you reintroduce some body back into the low end. The timing structure is more consistent. Your layers are better positioned. Like if you start to balance all this, now this becomes a bit more of a record. You know what I mean? If you just start like repositioning some of these elements right here, it's gonna be a totally different world for you. I'm gonna share really quick. Yes, you a month ago. What'd you connect your camera with? I can't find. Can you tell me? It was yeah, TikTok Live Studio. I need to get this beer can open. Let's go. No, yeah, my camera's just running. It's I mean, I have to use a Cam Link 4K. So in order to but that's not for TikTok. That's just for anything. That's just for connecting the camera. So this is a Canon C100 Mark II, and then I run that into a Cam Link 4K. That is what allows me to take HDMI out of the camera and run it to OBS, which is that's going to go to TikTok Live Studio as well as Twitch and YouTube. Asked you a month ago is hilarious. Yeah. All right, let's get into the outro. Hell yeah. But the Cam Link 4K, that's gonna be that's your capture card. That's gonna be what allows you to actually translate that camera into a open, like non-covered signal. I can't talk. All right. Of course, I got you.
I'm back alone stranded. Open up the wounds, I'm damaged. All the way back as a kid abandoned. On 2 tabs, I'm off this planet.
Yeah, this is gonna be a completely different feel. Because there's some like pretty good lyrics in there. There's some emotional moments in the song. There's some pretty good cadence switches and some melodic switches. Production's fine. It's a 2-track off YouTube. It's doing what it's supposed to do. But to me, those little production elements that we're talking about on the vocal side are going to dramatically change the way that I feel this, right? You're not robbing the life out of the vocal. Y'all show some love to RJ. RJ, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for sending this in. I appreciate you a lot. Y'all show some love and support to RJ Potter right here in the chat. Give him some love. Give him a follow as well. I appreciate you a lot for sending this in. Let's keep the music rolling. Let me get one thing updated over here really, really quick. We got Doug Reilly in the building. Of course, RJ, anytime, and I hope that was helpful. We got Doug Reilly. Doug Reilly's hitting the skip. Doug Reilly's hitting the skip to the 25. I appreciate you so much, brother. Thank you so much for coming in. Yeah, I was like, I guess I missed a question 4 weeks ago that I must have missed for a second. I'm usually pretty good about questions, but also I get into a really bad habit of saying what I'm trying. So here's the camera. Here's my screens. Right, camera's over here. Screens are over here. I have two screens going different directions, plus my laptop screen. So 3 screens. And then my phone where I'm getting notifications on. It's chaos over here. So what happens is I get in a bad habit of coming up with my responses and my ideas and trying to like think about, dealing with the artist or the producer that's in front of me. And then at the same time, like reading 2 different chats on YouTube and Twitch over here and TikTok on the screen above. And so I'm like trying to answer questions, but still thinking on my responses. It's a nightmare. So anyways, that's why it's a little bit chaotic sometimes. Okay, let's get into it. Doug, let me know if you're in the chat. Let me get a couple things updated here. Let me just make sure everything is updated. Doug, Bill, A10, and Nova in the board, ready to go. There's Doug. I'm going to keep it rolling. I'm keeping it moving. We're not messing around. We're not messing around today. This is All the Living in the Dead by Doug, or that's the band. I remember the band. This is All the Living in the Dead. The song is called Staggering. This is Doug Reilly here in the chat. Doug, I know what you do, but let the people know what you do so they can fall in love with your work as well. This is All the Living in the Dead. Really cool band. So excited to break it down. If y'all want to submit, I got a handful of songs left. Yeah, people are skipping forward. That's why I tell you, keep a tab open with the line so you can always see it. Keep the tab open with the line so you can always see where you're at, and you can adjust as necessary, or if you need to wait it out a little bit. Keep it up on another tab that you'll be ready to go. All right, this is Staggering by All the Living in the Dead. This is a dope band. Actually, let me get this open over here. Let's see, playing on the MacBook. There we go. All right, yeah, if you want to submit for a consultation, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the steps. We just got a handful of songs left. That's right. It started at 20 seconds randomly. Let's back it up. All right. I think this is a new song to me, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've heard this before.
The cold night air matches your callous indifference. Helplessly staggering.
When did this one come out? Is this new?
Through my days until I met with silence.
Last week. Let's go. Beautiful.
Stay there for a while. What do you hear? Your misery is too loud for you to see clear.
I did, Nova. I've been being risky lately, and it's been holding. It's been holding. I've been taking chances, Nova. Doug Reilly.
Silence continues today.
I like this a lot. Yes, the horns. What's up, Richard? Welcome in. Yeah. That's not what we're doing here, Ramsey. I appreciate you being here, though. We're not listening to popular artists. We're consulting on independent musicians and artists and producers. Show some love, show some love, show some love. That is All the Living and the Dead. The song is called Staggering. It's so monotone. I mean, you don't have to like the style of music. You don't have to like the style of music. People could say the same thing about like a rapper who raps over the exact same like kind of beat for the whole beat in the same vocal. They can say that. They can say that about anything. It's a very specific style of music that still has its own dynamic and register range. So that to me is that's not monotone, or unless you have a different definition of monotone. I mean, monotone quite literally means one note. It means one note, and this isn't that kind of in. It's not really like this in any sense. All right, let's run it from the top. Y'all, we are not listening to popular artists. We're not listening to popular artists. That's why I say in the little tag when you come in, we are here to talk about and listen to your music. Your music. And if you are not a part of Stray Kids, which would be crazy, if you are a part of Stray Kids, send in what you did on their song. But I'm doubtful. I'm doubtful that you are. This is for your music. That is true. Bill is very popular. If you make music or you are a part of records in some way, some people come in, agents, labels, things like that, and they'll submit music for artists that they're working with to help with some certain aspects of it. But that is what this is all about. If you want to submit, if you want details, go to my profile. I am not popular 100%, Ramsey. Okay, let's get into it. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into it. Doug, also let people know the role that you play in these records too as well, because I always want to make sure that the people that are a part of these records are celebrated in all of these different ways, like the different roles that they play in their music. I want everyone to be celebrated in the part that they play and what they do. So let the people know. It's hopefully also can, it can also turn to people wanting to hire people for what they do. Like producers will come in, they let people know what they do and what they work with. If it's great, people hire them. So I always want to make sure that you all get a chance to let people know what you do in your music so that people can support you in any way as well. But thank you so much for Doug Reilly sending this in. That is Staggering by All the Living and the Dead. Let's dive in from the top. We'll get into some of the details here. And let's get it. Let's get it. J-Man, welcome back. Love how dry this is. Love how dry it feels.
Helplessly staggering through my days until I met with silence. Stay there for a while. What do you hear?
A really nice like fifth structure right here. Like there's a lot of great things about this. Like just how clean and dry everything feels. This does remind me a lot of like 60s inspired music, or like 60s music and 60s inspired music, where you are utilizing the elements of your production in a really specific way to fill out the mix. You're not relying on ambiance. Now, that doesn't mean there's a little slap delay in there. That doesn't mean there's not a little space echo in the background or a little spring reverb on one of the guitars when they come in, and a little bit of a room on the live drums. There can be some of that stuff in there, but the perception is that you're very close to the music. I think that's one of the things that I really like about this era, and this is very different. So I love every era. I love every era of music for different reasons, but within this space, everything just felt so close to you. It felt like it was like, in fact, oftentimes they would, because of the way that they were tracking and tracking on very limited tracking systems and tape systems, they would have like very specific ways that they had to track comp and position, where like you would have like a kick, you'd have like the drums all on the left in mono, you'd have like the vocal on the right, you'd have like a guitar only on the left and only one thing in here. It was very, very limited. So you get these very like close performances that feel like they're just kind of sitting next to you and around you in a room. I love that. And I get a little bit of that here. Even this like early vocal, like if I back it up a little bit, you have like one singular like dry guitar kind of on the left side right here, 40% this way. And on the, you have a vocal a little bit more modern. So this is where it's a little bit more centered and clear and cut and clear right there. About the clear MG 3 hours ago. Oh, you're Natsuki, your life is going to be changed. Your life is going to be changed. You'll never hear music the same. It's amazing. But yeah, you have this beautiful open structure right here, but you get that really close, amazing feeling that I love about like 60s, early 70s music that I really feel like y'all have captured this really, really well. Now, I also then, like, my favorite era of music is like late 70s into the early 90s. Like I love the 80s. The 80s are my jam. And the 80s are reverb on everything. The biggest, most powerful gated reverbs and echoes on everything, and crazy synthesizers, stacks of CS80s, like mini Moog basses piercing through everything, right? That's one of the things that I really, really love and appreciate about the 80s is this huge sound, right? The introduction of a lot of modern sequencing and drum machines and stuff like that were really prominent in the 80s, late, mid 70s into the, the 80s, of course. But like, it was this massive wall of sound that also, yeah, shout out to Phil Collins with the gated reverb, like that. I mean, that's, dude, it's everywhere. You get that sound and you get this massive synthesis. You get these stadium records then performed in stadiums. They were built for where they were performed, and it was so fun. It was so fun. And then you have this, right? This is the contrast to that, where I am imagining I'm like sitting in the most tiny little room and studio, and it's got wood paneling everywhere. And it's they're playing a Les Paul and a Gibson, 335 dot. And it's someone on a Rhodes in the background, and it's a vocal right there in the middle with like a vintage, 47. Like, I can picture this record because of the closeness that you have to it. It feels so warm. It feels so intimate. And that to me is very fun. I love being able to do that. All of that to say, all of that random rant to say, I feel like you'll have captured and emulated this era and this feeling really, really well. This feels very warm and easy to listen to. It's not perfect. It's not tuned. It's not polished, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be captured well, and I think it was. So anyways, I'm really enjoying this for that reason. This is not supposed to be a melodined pop record that's perfectly in sync. It's not quantized. It's built in a way that feels very organic and that works well for the song. That might be the worst decision in the world for the next pop artist that comes through here. And this particular song, this is why you mix to the song, produce to the song. And this particular record, this is really, really well captured.
Misery is too loud for
Mead's in a bit. What's up, Mead? I got you.
clear.
I got you. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Also, another thing that we talk about a lot in here is recognizable. They call him Phil Collins for a reason. It makes sense. It makes all the sense. Another thing I love about this that I think is captured really, really well is a distinct, Mead, so good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing amazing. A distinct instrumental hook as well as a distinct vocal hook, right? So you have good, clear vocal melodies here. Nothing wrong with that at all. Good, like fifth harmonies over there. Gorgeous, beautiful, love it all. And at the same time, really clear, distinct dun 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 dun. Clear vocal melody and clear, distinct, recognizable instrumental melody as well. So when the song comes on, you know what you're listening to. It doesn't sound like everything else. It's got a melody that lives within its own space. I love it. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I love it. There's those details right there that make a song in any genre, in any era, make it feel more polished, makes it feel a little bit more professional. And it's some of those elements and structure I think are done really well here. This is great. Doug, this is awesome, man. That's great. That's crazy, Vision. That's crazy. I just saw that. I love the 80s mowing. I love it, love it. It's my favorite era. Nice little opening of the double track of the guitars coming from like the high picked movements on the right side and the counter rhythms, a double track acoustic, and then a nice little burst of energy into the outside right there. It sounds absolutely beautiful. Where 80s and 90s kids, all our stuff keeps going back there. Yeah, no, 100%. As a 90s kid, for whatever reason, I'm obsessed with the 80s. I just am. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. Like that's the stuff that I really enjoy making. It's half my synths are from the 80s. Like everything that I like get in here as I am able to like get more stuff in the studio, I'm getting stuff from that era. Like I'm getting older stuff. I love older stuff. There's just so much character to it. There's so much like life and flaws and stuff that to me just make it really inspiring. For me personally, this doesn't have to be anyone else, but like for me personally, I feel more creative and more inspired to use older stuff than like, what about this plugin that you can have 82 oscillators that all modulate against each other, creating whatever. That doesn't inspire me in the way that like a really like quirky like Juno 106 chorus does. Like I like working with some of those limitations, which is why I have separate synths that do separate things, as opposed to people like a lot of people will just tell me like, hey, just get a Mod X and you can have everything you would ever want in a synth and it's all right there. I like being able to manipulate multiple things at once and get into a space where I can go to a particular tool and use it for what it is and lock into it. That's why I have like, the DX7 for FM digital stuff, the Juno 106 for like, more analog synthesis, like whatever it may be. Like my Ensoniq for the like more like rompler sampled stuff. Like I like being able to have like different tools that do what they do really well. What's up, Jenna? Welcome in. Don't ask me. I look in Act 35, but I am 67. Let's go. I love it, dude. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's keep it rolling. 3 more songs, y'all. 3 more songs. Identifiable hook. That's just as catchy as the vocal. That guitar right there is just as catchy as the vocal. Beautifully written. That's a great part. It's very, very catchy. Like I've only heard the song once before and I already know that part just as much as like you hear a pop song and as soon as you finish listening to that pop song, it's so catchy. You can like you could sing those lyrics almost immediately. I've heard this, this guitar part once before, like the first time I heard the song 4 minutes ago. And I feel like I already know that lick. I already know that riff. It's really, really well written. It's simple. It's clean. This is also mixed really well. It's mixed really well. I like there's every once in a while, there's a little quirky timing thing that happens between, I think the drum and acoustic guitars, they're both very bright and transient. So sometimes I think the ping of the ride, it kind of sounds like, it might not be, but it reminds me of the old like A custom cymbals where it's very pingy, very bright and very pingy, which I like. That sounds awesome. I like it a lot. But that with the acoustic guitars that are also like very transient and like pick responsive, every once in a while, there's some little timing quirks in there, but I don't mind it. It's endearing. It feels real. It feels live. And I like some of the nuances that are there. Every once in a while, it veers off for a second, but it really comes back under control. So I'm not mad at the mix on this at all. I think it's really, really well done. We recorded an old cement farmhouse, had a lot of cool but annoying echo. That makes sense. And again, there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of like really incredible records that are done at like Abbey Roads or East West. You know what I mean? Like the crazy on a $180,000 or $400,000 old vintage Neve console. Like that happens. And there's also a lot of like powerful records that were just like they rented a house for 6 months in the hills of Montana or something, and they recorded a whole album out there. And that's the way that they did it, right? Or they just like went to the hills of LA and they produced a whole record out there over months and just in isolation because it was just the space that would give them the most creativity and the most inspiration. So that to me is like that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun to be able to do this in a lot of different. So don't begrudge the fact that you are recording it in a not perfect environment. Sometimes, as long as you can like have a level of control and inspiration there, sometimes the like flaws in a space also give your record character, because the like powerful, like, you know, Marshall tube stack in a perfectly tuned studio, it's going to sound different with the exact same settings in your concrete barn, right? Or whatever it is, like an old metal building somewhere, or like the house, the guest house that you're recording everything in the back of your home, or whatever it may be. Like it's going to be even the same setting, same guitar, going to sound very different. And that's why like those nuances to me are what makes certain records feel really interesting and really different. This is also the downfall of constantly only using plugins. If you're, and there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing at all wrong with this. So don't hear it this way. Produce with what you have the capacity to produce with. But it also is one of the reasons why a lot of music sounds the same, because a lot of rock artists will come in and they all are using preset 3 from Get Good Drums or Hertz Drums or, Steven Slate, right? Or they're all using the same trigger, or they all went to the same page they searched synth loop 80 BPM and sorted by popular on Splice, and everybody is using those top 10 sounds right there and trying to chop them a similar way, right? Or they're all using neural DSP for XYZ, and they all went to, whatever it may be. This is one of the reasons why you hear a lot of the same stuff, and you hear a lot of like the same profile in music these days, especially for more underground music that maybe doesn't have the budget of a lot of the nicer gear that a lot of people are playing with. But it's something to keep in mind. How are you making your music your own? How are you making your sound and your sonic something that's unique to your process, as opposed to using a lot of the exact same tools, right? That everybody else is using, right? So the way that you process, the way that you build out your sound design is very, very, very important. Okay, let's get into the outro here. It does take forever. It's worth it though. I have come to a place where I have no desire to be fast with music. And this is counterintuitive to what everyone else will say. They say everything's moving fast. The industry's moving fast. If you want to be a songwriter, you got to write 3 songs a day. You got to pump them out. You got to use these tools, whatever. Like you got to, if you're not produce whatever, I don't care. You can think differently. I literally don't care. I want to take time. I want to be intentional. I want to be nuanced. And I have no desire to quicken my process outside of stuff that is just workflow, right? Learn some quick keys in Pro Tools. Learn, be efficient with your patching and your routing of your gear in your studio so you can execute quickly as a musician. Learn your tools so that you can do those things at a pace that is not going to be an absolute nightmare to everyone that you're working with. But when it comes to the creative side of it, I am a fan of moving slow and actually thinking about what's going on and being intentional with your process. It took me a year to be happy with it. I love that. Yeah, I do write songs. In December, yep. That's so true, Mead. That's 100% true. That's a good, like, Mead was talking about, like, live pianos can be recorded primarily 4 separate ways, and it completely changes the vibe of the song based on where you put the mic. And it's so true. It's so true. Where, like, here in the, like, even, like, in my production studio here, where I have a big bass amp, a 410 bass amp and a 410 tube guitar amp. Like, it's not just the guitar that I plug into that and changing the guitar, so on and so on. Like, even just changing the mic position, like even just changing mic position, changing the mic that I use. Like, am I going to go with a 57 or a 421, or mic it up with like a tube microphone, or maybe do both and then split them in stereo or process them together, mix them in? Am I going to mic the room and blend that in? The room that I'm in with the mic, with its proximity, is going to be completely different miking, like my Fender tube amp, than anything else, right? And again, that's where you get a lot of the nuances in your music. And so for that to me is like, I love those nuances. It makes whatever I record in here is going to be completely my sound. Like, it's just whether it sounds good or not is a different question. Whether you like the sound is a different question, but it will be a sound only I can actually create in the space with this mic, with my guitar, with my playing in this room, right? And in order to recreate that, you would have to be in this space doing the exact same thing. And then that just makes the music, I think, a little bit more interesting when you have some of those flaws and nuances. Let's get into the outro here. Doug, this is awesome. I mean, I know we're talking about a lot of peripheral elements of this, but I think it all ties into what we're hearing within the song, which is really, really well produced. Never the bus is the bus driver. That's true. If you get a good bus driver with a great bus, whatever that means, magic happens. It's very clean for this genre, for this era. It's beautifully, beautifully done. Please show some love, y'all. Show some love, show some love. That is All the Living and the Dead. That's the name of the band. The song is called Staggering. I think he said it came out a week or two ago, if I'm remembering correctly. This is the first one they got mixed. It is out on all platforms, so please go like the track, go add it to your playlist, go stream it, go show some love and support. It's Doug Reilly right here in the chat, but the band is All the Living and the Dead. Show it some love and support, and show Doug some love and support as well. After Party, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Y'all, please show some love. Let's keep it rolling, y'all. Last three songs. I gotta move faster. What are we doing? I gotta go fast. I'm taking too long. We got Mead in the building. Let me see where we're at. We got Mead. I think Mead, Bill Curd, and Aiton are what I have left on the mix, left on the docket for today. I will be live again tomorrow, I believe. So keep that in mind. And in case you get saved, we'll make sure that we get you up there. All right, let me double check a few things. Vince, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. And let me just make sure I got everything caught up here real briefly. Mead, Bill Curd, Aiton, Nova, I see there too as well. Okay. Let's see. Thank you for the harmony. Vince, I appreciate that. And sorry if I'm missing some questions and some stuff too. I'm trying to answer a couple things as I go, but I'm also trying to get through some music because I do have some a place to be tonight. So let's see. Mead, let's pull it up. Mead, you know the details. You know what you need to offer me. Give me some details. Give me some nuance on what I'm about to listen to, and also let the chat know. Let other people know what you do. The role that you play in your music. Obviously, I've heard plenty of your music at this point, but let the people know this is us. This is a master that I'm hearing. It looks like here. I'm requesting access. Give me access to the drive file. Give me access to the drive file so we can get this rolling here. I'm stepping on stuff. I gotta fix up this. I have this. I'm not gonna pick it up right now. It's too heavy to move right now. I was gonna show it really quick, but I have this old tape machine from the '60s, an old Sony tape machine from the '60s that I want to. I need to fix it up. It works. It turns on. It does forward and reverse, but it's a little finicky. It's a little rough. So I do need to clean it up a little bit and get some work done on it. Get some fresh reels on it. But I'm excited to like record some samples in that, do some tape manipulation, some wow and flutter, maybe track some drums through there. That'll be fun. Even like run some old vintage synths through there and create some samples. It'll be fun. But yeah, it's over here next to me. But I gotta find a place to do it. All right, and I also need to get a couple other quick tools. Okay, let's roll. It's already downloaded. It's ready to go. It's moving and grooving. All right, I'm gonna try to move at a good pace, y'all. Sorry, some of these have taken a little bit longer. One sec. Aiton, I got you as well. I already have their track pulled up, so I'm going to run theirs, and then I'll put yours in the right spot up there. I think it should still, yeah, it'll still move you up. But I already have their track pulled up and download. So I would hate to be like, hey, you're going, I'm reading your messages, and then have their track downloading and then switch off. I just would feel bad about that. So I'm still going to boost you past where you're at because it'll move you forward. But I'm gonna go ahead and run their track here first. Okay, so this is Mead. I appreciate that, man, but I'm gonna get them pushed first. New round of mix that I'm trying to get notes back. Interested in your thoughts and opinions. Okay, appreciate you, brother. Interested in your thoughts and opinions. Should have access now. Got you. All right, this is Us by Mead. Let's get into it. Let people know as well the different parts that you play in your music, because I've heard it before, but I always like to tell people. Come on, Rhodes. Come on, Rhodes. Woo!
I met you as lovers do, with a little bit of luck. Hope it's not too much to say that I pray that you feel the same way. And if you want me to, oh, I'll run away with you. 'Cause I can feel your heartbeat for me.
Come on.
When I hold you, oh, I can't believe that you got me so far off my feet. I'm falling in love and I can't get enough of
I got you, Bill. Keep in mind it goes by 5. It goes by 5.
Bump into me as we walk down the street. Our fingers start to touch.
Let me close the line. Let me close the line. That way no one new comes in.
That you feel the same way. If you want me to, or I'll run away with you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
'Cause I can feel your heartbeat for me. When I hold you, oh, I can't believe.
You'll close this out, Aiton. You're gonna close this out.
I'm falling in love and I can't get enough of
I would just think that 12 would put you behind them. So it'd be another $3 if you want to go past them. This is beautiful, Mead. Really like the mix on the bass. The bass is tight.
'Cause I can feel your heartbeat for me. When I hold you close,
I love that, Rhodes.
I can't believe that you got me so far off my feet. I'm falling in love and I can't get enough. I can feel your heartbeat for me.
I almost thought there was going to be a key change there.
When I hold you close, I can't believe that you got me so far off my feet. I'm falling in love and I can't get enough of us.
This is Us by Mead. They're over on YouTube. Production sounds awesome. Production sounds really cool. Really nice. Really nice, really nice. Y'all, show some love, show some love, show some love. Let's get straight into it. We're moving quick. We're moving quick. I'm trying to. This is me. They're over on YouTube right now, so hop over there, show them some love and support. They're loving it on all the other platforms too, man. Show some love and support. That's a beautiful song. Song is everything, and it's a great one. Really, really great song, great structure. I know. When I was hearing that build up right there, I was looking, I was itching for a key change right there. It's great without it. It's great without it. It sounds awesome, but I was like, oh, is it gonna happen? Is there gonna be a transpose right there? It was killer. Let's run it. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into it. New group out of New York. Really excited to get these out. Let's go. Would love to start incorporating key changes into my songs. Let's go. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into it. Bass mix is not, vast majority of the production mix is really nice. There's one, to be honest, most of this sounds very, very clean. There's a couple little moments in here. I think when the dynamics are really, really high, I think I'm losing the vocal just a hair, so I'm listening for that, but it could, just a second listen, I might be fine. That's the only thing I think I really noticed first pass. There's a couple times where it felt a little noisy, maybe just over brightened on a couple different elements. That's creating a little bit of that space, but the vast majority of this sounds smooth. silky, silky smooth. Your voice is awesome. This is really, really, really well done. I love, we talk with people here all the time. I think Rhodes needs to be in I love Rhodes. I think Rhodes should be in every single song. I don't even put it in every single song, but I think I should. I think Rhodes is just a fantastic, warm, beautiful instrument. So I love the combination of the warmth of this beautiful, beautiful, like almost like P bass with the Rhodes right over the top of it. It's a great combination. The song is not out yet, so you're not going to be able to find it, but it's called Us by Mead. It's a really, really, really cool artist. They're over on YouTube if you want to say what's up to them over there. Great riff. Again, very close mix. I feel that, man. I feel that. Beautiful double on the guitar.
I met you.
Again, a really, really dun, 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 to the 7 right there. Like a really, really nice riff. Same as the last song. Identifiable moments of the song that make it its own. That it gives it a thumbprint, gives it an identity.
As lovers do, with a little bit of luck. Hope it's not too much to say that I pray that you feel the same.
Great layers
way.
too.
And if you want me to, oh, I'll run away with you.
I think, in my personal opinion, a little hot on the background vocals. So even when these background vocals come in, they are beautiful. I love where they sit. I love the way that they're mixed as far as like what they're doing. Gorgeous. As soon as they come in, I felt my ears, like my ears were, if these are my ears, this is my example of my ears. If my ears were like focused on you right here, all of a sudden they both kind of jumped out to the, I don't know how to explain this visually. They kind of jumped out to the side vocals there for a moment. And I lost your vocal. And maybe that's what's happening a couple times in the song is an element comes in that's just too loud, kind of too prominent. And then your vocal is in a lower register. It's a little breathier right there. And so you lose just a little bit of that prominence of the lead vocal. I think you could probably back up off of these vocals by a couple dB, just the backgrounds, those kind of oohs and ahs, 2 or 3 dB, connect it back to the production maybe just a little bit, and then keep that lead kind of at the forefront right there. They sound beautiful. You don't need to change a thing about the vast majority of this production, but I think leveling and just balance would be the biggest thing I'd focus on.
I pray that you feel the same way. And if you want me to, oh, I'll run away with you. 'Cause I can feel your heartbeat for me when I hold you. Oh, I can't believe that you got me so far.
Smooth.
Off my feet.
Smooth.
I'm falling in love and I can't get enough.
Yeah, even here. So yeah, kind of the same background stuff that we're talking about, where they're doing beautiful things, and I absolutely love everything that's going on sonically. Layers are absolutely gorgeous. Just about a 2 to 3 dB difference, I think, in order to just kind of rebalance that and regain some prominence for the lead vocal. Because the vocal, I mean, I really, really like the tone on your lead vocal. It is you can tell it's very surgical. You know what I mean? It's very, very surgical. So where the vocal's very even and flat and just very controlled, which is a beautiful thing to have. But that means that there's not a ton of room for like new elements to like hop in. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of space for like new elements to encroach on it, because they will smother it a little bit. Sounds good. Got you. Welcome over to the dark side. But yeah, those are those little details that I'm looking at right there. It's like, is there a way that we can make sure we maintain that prominence and that we don't lose it in some of these layers that come in, especially as the song builds out a little bit more. Let me push forward a little bit here.
With you, 'cause I pray that you feel the same, that you got me so far
Hair.
off my feet.
I really like the octave. So it's the it's like these stacks of harmonies on the outside. Those I would come back 2 or 3 dB. Nothing too crazy, enough to just glue it, right? Nothing too crazy. I do like there's a little high octave that goes in there, and then maybe even a low octave underneath. Those octaves right there, I really like. So those add a nice little snap to the vocal that wakes it up a bit, especially with the female vocal. Beautiful. Keep those, I think, probably right around where they are, and then step back a hair on just the oohs and ahs on the outside. But I think the octaves support the vocal really well.
I'm falling in love and I can't get enough of us.
even so, if that vocals, I thought that vocal, I think initially right there, I know, right? And I think initially right there, I was thinking that that vocal was going to come in as a lead because it doesn't. I think that also comes in hot. When she came in, when she started coming in with those riffs right there, it was so forward. I was like, oh, here we're going to go into a bridge where the female vocal really takes the lead and then it kind of steps back to your vocal. Perfect. Nothing wrong with that. But I think the little plot twist right there is not disconcerting, is too strong probably, but it just throw you off a little bit because that vocal comes in so strong. Same thing. I'd probably just pull that back 3-4 dB, reconnect it, like have it as an ad lib, have it come in with clarity, but not as like a forward lead element so much, just because I think it kind of makes it feel like it's going in a different direction. So then the production structure feels a little uncertain for a moment there. I think it's very subconscious as well. No person's just randomly listening to this in their car one day and be like, oh, look how disconcerted I feel because of the female vocal coming in 2 dB harder. Like, who cares, right? This is, I think, a lot more of a subconscious thing of how like even and smooth and open. You know, like that's what people complain about sometimes when they come into this live stream. Be like, dude, who cares? It's art, it's music. A lot of art and music and stuff is subconscious. You know, it's psychological. It's the way that we respond to frequency and vibration, a way that we respond to the way something's built out. So I don't think anyone is going to be like, you know, is going to be listening to this playlist while they work and this song comes on and be like, oh my God, I'm so disconcerted. That didn't go up and transpose 2 semitones. Like it's stupid. So yeah. If it says you out of the song, and yeah, exactly. So for me, it's just like in my brain, even just as a fan of the music, I'm listening to it, I'm like, my brain immediately goes to, oh, here's a new vocal. This is new vocal information. It sounds like a new lead is coming in. And then it never is satisfied, if that makes sense. Maybe that's a better way of putting it, where it's like, I'm hearing these beautiful background vocals with you as a lead, and then all of a sudden, there's a new thing that comes in as like a powerful lead female vocal in the middle of the mix. And my brain goes, oh, cool, a new feature coming in for this bridge. And then it steps back and it never actually supplies that. So that's why I'm like, if it's not going to do that, keep it kind of in its vein and keep it back a couple dB so that it actually feels, cohesive with the rest of the production right there.
Can't believe
I love it, man. It's a fantastic song. It's so good. Like that right there. Just back a couple dB. Beautiful vocal though. Now your voice actually sounds quiet compared to how loud that vocal is. Just a rebalancing. So here, your vocal actually does sound a bit quiet. I think you're reaching a little bit higher in the vocal. You're probably backing off of the mic just a little bit as you're pushing into like a higher, pulled chest voice. Now that you're reaching a little bit more right there's probably a little bit of dynamic drop. So I would just keep the voice at the top. Layers are a little bit too loud. Make sure you might even automate the vocal up on your end just a little bit. Keep that vocal at the top so that it maintains its prominence. This is where I was hearing that it dives in the mix when everything is in there, all of these different elements and layers. So make sure that vocal stays at the top, rebalance layers. To me, that's about it. Production sounds awesome. Sounds really, really nice.
Can't believe that you got me so far off my feet. I'm falling in love and I can't get enough. I can feel your heartbeat for me. When I hold you close, I can't believe that you got me so far off my feet. I'm falling in love and I can't
Awesome,
get
man.
enough.
Bass is beautiful, man. Love the 7. Come on with the roads. Every song needs a roads. I don't care what anyone says. Show some love to Mead right here in the chat. I love what you do, man. You're so talented. You're so talented. Anthony on the bass, man. So talented. Every time I hear a song from you, I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's well constructed. It's well composed. It's put together in a way that is enticing to listen to. It's warm. It's inviting. It's easy. I love it, man. It sounds very natural for you. A couple little balancing things in the vocals and background vocals are going to be golden, man. This is a great song. Can't wait for it to come up. Y'all show some love to me. Let's keep it rolling. I'm actually moving today, y'all. We're moving and grooving. We got 2 more songs. We've got Who do we got? Who are we closing up with? I got to make sure I get this right order. We got Bill, and then we're going to close it out with Aiton. Show some love to the family. We got Bill Curd in the building. Bill Curd, has been a minute. Talk to me about the music. Talk to me about the music, man. Let me know. Email or DM. For what? What side? Maybe I missed a comment. Sorry if I missed a comment. Took a year. Let's go, Bill. I'm getting it downloaded. It's all right by me. No. Let me see. Yeah, email or DM for what? So I make sure. I think I might have missed a comment that came through on TikTok or something like that. It might be blocking it, which is really, really annoying. I don't know why it does that. All right, it is my band, Ghosts of Winter. It's called It's All Right by Me. Let's get into it. This is Bill Curd. Bill Curd, let me know. Obviously, I know what you do. Let the people know. Let the people know what you do so we can get into the details. We can dive into the nuances of it. Let's dive in, man. Let's dive in. Alonzo, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you being here. The line is currently closed. I made this bigger, and I still don't think it's working. The line is currently closed. If you want to submit, just make sure that you're following. We'll be live again tomorrow afternoon. So make sure that y'all are following, turn on notifications for the live, and then we'll open up tomorrow afternoon, 2 or 3 p.m., something like that. I think I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure. Let's get into it. This is It's All Right by Me by Bill Curd. He does vocals and rhythm guitar. Come on. Thank you for the follow. Classic rock and roll. Let's go.
There was a time we'd be okay when we could work it out, but not today. You wanna
Shoot me a DM on Instagram. There's the double track.
Hard as you try, you never look me in the eye.
Got you. Nice. Bill, this is awesome. Really, really, really well done, well performed. Great musicianship across the board. Sounds fantastic. Let's get into it, man. I'm moving quick. We're running it from the top. That was It's All Right by Me by Ghosts of Winter. Let me know if/when it's coming out, if it's in distribution now, if it's coming out soon. Let the people know so they can be in tune. They can be tuned in to see kind of what's going on. Let's run it from the top. Let's dive into it, man. Great production structure. I mean, this just feels like classic, mid 80s rock and roll. I mean, it's got such a cool classic sound to it. I mean, it just gives, I don't know exactly what you're using, but it just has that Marshall stack, Les Paul, rock and roll, rock and roll feel to it. Great high register in the vocal, great solo, snappy drums, all that fun stuff, man. It's beautiful. I like it a lot. Let's run it from the top. Next month on the album. Let's go. I'm listening for quite literally just one thing. There's some parts of it between high end of the kick, so like kind of transient attack of the kick, snare, guitars, and lead vocal, like mono lead vocal in the middle. There's a lot of like there's a little bit of mid ringing and like, over resonance that's happening at, like, it sounds like between maybe 1,000 to 3,000 hertz, 1,000 to 2,000 hertz, right in a little pocket right there. There's a lot of energy right there. I would love to rebalance that within the elements of the production a little bit, and maybe carve a bit as needed. But I think you can do it within the elements. That's the only thing that I'm listening for. The thing that I always like remind myself and remind people is like, how loud could you listen to this song before it hurts, right? And the reality is, and it sounds like a funny way to test your mixes, but it's like, how loud can I turn up my own song, my band, my mix that I'm doing for a client, whatever it is? How loud can I turn this up before it hurts to listen to? And a bad mix, it's not going to be very loud. A really boomy, muddy, like low-end heavy mix, you can't turn up very loud before all it does is rattle speakers and it hurts the ears because it's so heavy and it's like shaking your headphones. On the other side of it, if it's like brittle and harsh and it's ringing and it's overly resonant, like in certain frequencies, then same thing. I can't turn it up very loud. I might love the way it sounds, but I can't turn it up before it really starts to hurt the ears. So that's what I'm kind of digging into here. That's what I'm digging into here. Is there's a couple little frequencies in there that are, I'm like, I can't really turn. In fact, I have a little bit of a response to maybe want to turn it down a little bit because parts of it hurt a little bit. So I want to make sure that there's nothing in here that is going to rob people of the loudest, most dynamic experience of the song possible. So that's kind of what I'm listening for. But let's get it. Love the single track moving into the double track. Top snare mic, I'm probably going to print it. A lot of people won't hear it. Yeah. Do what you got to do, and then get into some of the nuances of like EQ on the guitars, both double tracks, EQ on the guitars, EQ on the vocals, and EQ on kick and snare. I think that's mainly when I hear it. Or it also could potentially be on your overheads as well. So if you're going to keep all of that, if you're going to like go ahead and print the top snare mic, or maybe it's a little too snappy for you and want to just go bottom or whatever you want to do, and keep your direct mics really consistent, it might even just be on the EQ side of your overheads. Like your stereo overheads might have a little bit too much happening, where you can EQ a little bit out of that too, so it doesn't feel like it's ringing too much. Yeah, the line is closed. Line is closed. Okay, cool. Of course. I mean, it's sonically what's happening. I love, again, great vocal performance, great energy, tone of the guitar, snap in the drums. Like there's so much about like the profile of what I hear that I think is fantastic. It sounds so cool, sounds so good. It feels very classic. This is timeless stuff, right? So there's so much about, I mean, this is built for a movie. It's got all of that stuff. Like this is an intro scene to a movie set in that era, like, late 70s, 80s, whatever. Like it has so much of that aesthetic that I want to maintain all of that just without the harshness, right? And this could even be as simple as like literally like, okay, I can't do it. I don't have time to do that. I was going to say literally you could probably run this into like on the master side, run this into like a Kramer tape saturator, like a Kramer tape saturator in emulation, put it in a clean mastering mode and push the preamp. Put it in clean mastering mode, push the preamp, no flutter or wow, and just soften that top a little bit. It'll still be snappy, but it'll like warm it up. It'll shave off some of the harshness and the resonance that's slicing through a little bit right there. A little bit of extra tape saturation, just push it into the preamp a little bit more with maybe a little bit of a dip in the EQ, and you could have a subtle master correction that lights this thing on fire and just makes it amazing. So it could be as simple as that. It could be like tiny little details that just open it up like crazy. because right now it is. You do have a Kramer on the vocal, dude. I love, and the Kramer's awesome. It's fantastic. If you don't have one, not that you have to, but if you don't have one on, F it, let's do it. Okay, hold on. I can't help myself. This is downloaded, right? So let's do this. We got time. We got time. This won't take long. I'm curious as to sonically what this is going to do. So let's see. This is already pretty crunched up. So, I'm not gonna do it too crazy. Drum bus and subtle. Yeah, I mean, I saturate everything. Everything's saturated in some way, either before, like whether it's a tube amp, a tube mic, whatever, like everything's saturated. I think that's where you're going to get a lot of that warmth and openness. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just for the sake of seeing what happens here, I'm going to feed an EQ in first. Let me switch. Boom. So just tastefully. See all this action in here. Hear that? You can even kind of see, you can see this light up right here. You can see a lot of the energy right there. Right in there, there's a ringing. I hear that. You hear that ringing in the snare. You hear the ringing in the guitar. That tells me that there's a lot happening right there that's creating that resonance without me even pushing it that hard, right? I'm not even like cranking this that much. So let's just control it. Already cleaner. And I'm going to warm up the mid here just a little bit. Let's bring it to life just right in here. That's coming here. It's not really touching the clip point here. So I'm going to push this a little bit to crunch it up and help it out. Too far. That's the limit. Back it off.
There was a time we'd be okay when we could work it out, but not today. You wanna leave? It's alright by me.
Yeah.
Hard as you try, you never look me in the eye.
Back.
If you're falling out of love,
So different.
it's alright by me.
Original.
Look at you, looking at me. Don't make it harder than it has.
Let me back it up here. So I'm going to go into this next section here.
I can't look at you.
Original.
the same. Oh, I'm
Back.
falling out of love. It's alright by
It feels so much more like music to me anyways. And of course, it's not going to come through all the time on TikTok because of their over compression, but just in my headphones here, referencing everything, there's so much more life in the production by carving some of that space and then introducing harmonics, like introducing some saturation, some harmonics, shaving some of that energy off, and then just reopening it back up. Literally just pushing into the preamp a hair and these little curves right here, right? I'm bringing in just a little bit more energy in these mids to low mids right here, a little bit of inflation there to re-warm it back up. They're all that little ringing action right in here between the guitars, the snare, so on and so on, and then opening up. Like basic, super, super simple. And it just opens up the whole track like crazy. Original. Back. Man, that brings the guitar to life so much more. It really, really wakes up the guitar. I'm going to go back. I'm going to bypass again. It'll be a little bit harsher and a little bit emptier feeling, and then I'll switch back. Original. Back. Original. On. different feel. Totally different feel. So like, and at least for me, that feels dramatically different. So that's where I'm like, that small little change of where that ringing is, reintroducing some warmth in the mid lows right there, kind of right underneath it at 400 to 600 hertz. And then saturation to help, like we're taming some things, inflating some things, and then harmonics, introducing some saturation to kind of wake it up, make it feel more musical and less direct and snappy. That's kind of what I'm looking for here. Let's get to the outro. Oh, what's up, Chance? Welcome back. Yeah, Chance, I have one. I'm actually, I was on a little bit earlier. I'm just hopping off here after one more song, but I still have you. I still have you on my list, man. I appreciate you tapping back in. I will be live again tomorrow. I'll be live again tomorrow. But I got to go a little bit shorter today. I got somewhere to be tonight, so I got only one more song, and then I'm out of here tonight. But I still have you on my list with your boost as well. All right, let's hear the outro real quick. This isn't corrected. Back. The only reason, man, show some love to Bill. Bill, you're amazing. I absolutely love it. I think you're fantastic. I think you're fantastic and so incredibly talented. I'm not worried about this song at all. You could do nothing and you'd probably be fine. You would probably be fine leaving it as is. The only reason why I would go back in and make some master adjustments would be because I can't turn this up very loud. If I do, it would hurt. If I turn this up in my headphones at the gym, it's going to hurt. If I put it in the car, it's going to hurt. There will be some environments where the system can handle those specific frequencies and it'll shave it off and it might sound fine. But with a rock song like this is a summer rock song. And I have a desire to crank something like this. You want it to be as loud as it was when you were tracking it with these guitars and stuff, right? You want it to feel vibrant and energetic. And I feel like that would be one of the things that I would look for in this record, is just making sure that there's enough space in this mix for you to actually push it to its limit. It's really well. I mean, I'm saying all of these nuanced things because it's fantastic. It sounds absolutely amazing. Please show some love and support. Yeah, shoot me an email, Bill. Shoot me an email. And we can figure out kind of what it is and what it looks like. But please show some love to Bill Kurd right here in the chat. Amazing band, artist. Just really great work. That's the rhythm guitar and the vocal that you're hearing there. Show some love. We got a closeout here with Aiton. Aiton, thank you for your patience. I appreciate you so much. Doesn't really have a name yet, considering something like Smooth Sailing, but not sure I love it. Very rough. This is an early demo. Very rough. Hadn't been really mixed yet, and there's no bridge yet. Just wanted your opinion on things like composition and sound selection. This is my favorite stuff. Let's get into it. Closing this out right here. Hopefully we can move at a good pace. I got to get out of here in the next like 20 minutes. So, all right. We're closed up. If y'all want to submit, make sure y'all tap in tomorrow. Make sure that you're following, and hopefully we can get some of y'all up on the board as well. All right, this is Aiton right here in the chat. More roads, baby. Smooth. Interesting progression lift here. It's like a semitone above where I would predict it going on the high bass line. Is that soft piano? Soft piano by Spitfire Audio. Sounds nice, really warm. Yeah, I like it. That's a great piano, especially for free. Spitfire Labs. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Beautiful, man. This is really nice. I like the vibe. I like the whole aesthetic. It's typical A10 where it's like interesting progression and sound design and movement. Good A and B section in here as usual. With some little quirky sound design shifts in there, which I absolutely love. Some good ear candy. So let's dive into it. We'll dig into a couple little things. Obviously, I know it's early, so I'm going to listen accordingly. I might address some things that you just need to fix later on, but we'll just listen to some structural things, some sound design, production elements, stuff like that. But let's run it from the top, and then we'll be out of here. It's like I'm looking at the chromatic walk right here because it's like a semitone below or semitone above initially where like my brain wants it to be. I'm gonna listen for that really quick. And it changes on the B section. Yeah, I like it. There's one note I'm listening for. I do like it. Let me hear it. Hold on. Where's that go? Is it the D sharp? A flat to B flat. Yeah, A flat to B flat. Is it the B or is it something out of tune? Hold on. Is it the D sharp? That's what it's that note that I'm hearing. Yeah, I know. So yeah, I got the A to the B flat right there. I think it's that. I think it's this. So I like this to the D, like it gives you like this D minor. So you almost have like a 1/3, like a 1/3/4. No, no worries, no worries. I'll flesh it out a little bit. It's like a 1/3/4 to a 6 minor, right? That's like what I hear, right? A little bit more minor, a little bit more structured, right? Or then you. So I like its chromatic. So that's why I was listening for the. I was listening for the chromatic because you have the da da, and then you walk up, and then da, and you walk up again. Personal opinion. Feel free to ignore it. I wouldn't go, you build a lot of tension already early on and then introduce a lot of dissonance with and it's heavy because it's a bass. It's heavy because it's a bass. It does go to the E flat. That's what I'm hearing then. That's what I was listening for that to up there. When I'm listening to like what fits in the key and I'm fine moving outside of the key, like, you know, you want to be jazzy with it. No, I have zero problems with that. What typically to me would be a little bit more approachable and palatable would be the D. So you still have this. I love the chromatic walks. It's funky. It's weird. I like weird stuff. So the A to the B flat to the D, and then to the B to the B flat to the D again, instead of the D sharp or the E flat in this context. Like that to me is you have a lot of tension and kind of like minor weird buildups already happening with those first couple notes. The D sharp kind of takes it over the edge for me, where it's now the whole thing feels off kilter. And that could be intentional, could be the vibe you're going for, which is fine. I don't know if it feels the most palatable to me. If you ever get a vocal, I think it'll be really challenging to fit that in because it wouldn't be over a strict D minor. So it'd be a very weird key to try to find phrasing in because your other instruments still go to a D. If you listen underneath it, hey, appreciate you so much, me. Thanks for tapping in. Like most of the other production structure still kind of follows a more natural progression in there with some kind of diminished chords and some sevenths that are kind of fit in there. But the bass line is the one that's like a semitone above. It's a lot of tension. Feel free to leave it as is. If you're going to leave it as is, what I would probably make sure is that when you're adding in some other production, like in the chord, like in this, you know, let me hear. So when you have this almost like G minor here, what you probably want to do is like make this a G augmented or something, right? So like, you know, however you want to, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of funky. Shift up, G, like a G augmented, you know, go up to the D sharp. The only way I think to me that the bass makes sense is if you complement it, right? Because the bass is doing something non-typical, you know, it's not within the typical scaling right there. So since if that's gonna work, the other stuff can't be too like in D minor. You got to complement it. So maybe when you go back into like the kind of complementary chords on the Rhodes, and maybe the synth arpeggio in the background, throw a little D if you want to keep the bass. Throw a little D sharp in there to open that up a little bit with like an augmented chord, or maybe some inversion of another like diminished chord, like right in there. You could do some sort of an inversion of an augmented chord off the B that will give it some of that tension because you have the D sharp. And then when you hit this, you know, in the low end here, there's a little bit of help from it. Has a little more context. It's jazzy, it's funky. But anyways, that's one note that I hear that I think you could address, and or at least keep it and figure out how to line with it. I like the percussion in the background though. Again, there's a lot of ear candy I really like. Like that's where I want to hear it. Nice little turnaround here. I almost wonder if you could sit there for a second. One more turnaround. Yeah, I almost wonder if you do one more turnaround there with the low dynamic so you can build up. So it's a little bit more of like a classic pre-chorus or a pre-hook right there. Like one more time, leave the drums out, just the percussion, and just a dun 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 dun. And then you come back into it. Like one other turn, I think for me, it makes the song a lot of that other dynamic. If it's a lot of the other thing, then that will become a bit repetitive just with the same stuff. So I think if you give it a little bit more of a moment, just another 4 measures, a little bit more of that moment at that dynamic, it'll make it a little bit more, or it'll feel, just double it, I think, each time that you do it, so you can live there for a second. I think it'll matter more that you go back into it, because we're here quick. One progression through, and then we're back. We're back in. We're back in. Same exact turnaround right there, same exact kind of format, right? So that, I think you just sit there for another 4 measures, go back through that progression another time. You can live there vocally, if that happens. You can live there vocally for a moment, or add in another little tasteful, like on the second time you go through those 4 measures, add another little tasteful little bell in there, something interesting, a synth, and then boom, drums come back and you're back in the hook, verse, whatever you want to call it. Side note, feel free to, as always, I say this every time, so ignore me, but like, I also like a lot of the sound design. It does remind me a lot of the 80s. I mean, these kind of like syncopated, you know, cross sticks and rim shots, nice little brassy Jupiter-ish synth in the background, moving bass lines, you know, tight drums. There's a part of me that wants this to feel less dead dry and a little more open. Like we were talking about 80s earlier, like 60s, 70s versus dry and open. There's a part of me that just kind of wants to hear a really big, you know, reverb, you know, bright stereo reverb on the rim shot right there. And even on the drums, like you don't have to do that. Feel free to ignore it. But there are some times, especially on the snare here, where there's like, it sounds like it's kind of trying to be more open and more vibrant with the synth and the piano and Rhodes and stuff, where and the high synth and stuff in the little arpeggio there, where it kind of feels open, but then the drums are like very filtered and restricted, and so it feels a little bit held back. So I'm curious what it would sound like opening up the percussion a little bit more, maybe at least in the hook, but play around with it, right? Again, a lot of this is just, I want to get your own wheels spinning, right? I'm kind of curious what this would sound like a little less restricted and a little bit more open as far as ambiance and positioning and stuff goes. Just a thought, throwing it out there. I mean, this is cool. Like right now, it's like, it's a little like kind of like lo-fi, alternative lo-fi something, right? You get this nice like saturation, nice little like RC20 tape noise, like tracked tape noise on the cross stick and stuff. Sounds great. I mean, sounds awesome. Repeat this again. So we're back. We're back again. Repeat that one more time. So you have a little bit longer turnaround, and it makes you, you earn this next breakdown a little bit more. And then last hook here, I'd add one more element. One more like lead element. It could even be like a really simple like sine wave synth. You know what I mean? There's some little like high little synth right there that can kind of follow above where the piano and the other brass is making itself known in the synth right there too. But since it is like technically your third turnaround here, where you had your first one, second one, you do one more verse because you kind of start here, one more verse and you build it up. One more little tasteful melodic element right there, I think would open it up a little bit too. Yeah, I definitely want these drums, like the snare, to open up a little bit more. It feels very like Alesis SR. I used to have one, that's why I'm saying this, like Alesis SR16 drum machine vibe. Nothing wrong with that, but I would layer it with like a gated reverb or something. Open it. We were talking about earlier. Open it up a little bit. So nice. But I do really love most of this, beyond some of those little bass notes we were talking about. I really do like the progression here. I like the feel. I think all of those other production elements work seamlessly together. Those first two notes in the progression too, they feel seamless. They feel really, really smooth, and they work together beautifully. Y'all show some love to A10 Music right here in the chat. Dude, I absolutely love what you do. Seriously, it's a joy anytime that we get to hear your music. So y'all please show some love to A10 Music. Absolutely love it. The vibe is there, and that matters more than the foundation, and the vibe is there. That matters more than anything. I don't think you're far off with this one at all. This one is like some structure, right? Make sure the progression is where you want it, so that layer as well. Make sure that your turnarounds are longer. Those are more structural things. Those are like easy. Those are easy things. Most of the sound design, I think, is fantastic. All right, y'all, that's gonna do it. I love y'all. I gotta get out of here. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have an absolutely amazing rest of your night, and rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see y'all tomorrow afternoon. Peace.